All right, we're live. Welcome to the Master Roll Podcast. This is episode 4. A few things are different right now. 1, the location has changed. 2, I'm having a few drinks, and my guests are having drinks.
Hey,
this hasn't been.
Sir, let's go.
This is new. 3, we're recording on a Monday because someone had to look after his kid on Friday. A couple of kids, right?
several children.
And 4, my guests aren't Turkish. I've got 2 Filipinos.
Hey, let's go. Diversity in the building. All lives matter, baby.
I've got Kalini De Castro. He was the sales manager, team leader. We worked in sales together. He's the OG. He was a father figure to me. He was like Sandy in the OC, and I was right out. And I got Carlito, the smooth operator.
What's up, baby?
Carlito, the Filipino burrito. So yeah, I've got 2 jungle Asians with me.
Yeah. Yo, did somebody from your marketing team be like, yo, you need more diversity? Because you switched the shit out of this, bro. You had 3 episodes, nothing but Turkish motherfuckers. Now you got 2 Filipinos.
I got over it, and I can't wait to get rid of them in the future. As soon as I get big.
Bro, you got 2 Filipinos here, and the irony is we're both wearing Country Road right now.
Yeah, rocking the Country Road.
We literally
bring back the 95, bro.
We literally look like we should be discussing whether or not we should be cleaning your apartment for $4 an hour or not.
Yeah, or be rocking like the Safeway poles in the Country Road bag.
You're out, bro.
So we all worked in the same company together. We did sales.
Twice, actually. We worked in the same company twice. Different times.
Different times. Mm-hmm. Now, I just want to say, when it comes to sales, there's some fucking weirdos there. 100%. No doubt. Now, I feel like a few people we work with, this is something they'd do. They'd push their mother down the stairs. And that's how they inherit their house. Yeah. Like, there's those kind of psychos that work in sales.
100%. Yep. That's a real
But then you got the cool cats, you know.
But there's a handful of those.
Yeah, there's a handful. And then you got these people that live in a bubble, in the sales bubble, that just get stuck with their ego and they think they're King Dick in this world of sales.
But we allow that to happen, though. Because in order for them to be successful, we need to make them think that they're the king of the world in order for them to do what they need to do.
Yeah, but they bring it to the outside life as well.
And it doesn't work.
Right. Now, Cal, so there's Cal and Carl, okay?
Yeah, this is mad confusing for your listeners because you got 2 Filipino motherfuckers that talk the same, that both have almost the same name.
So that's Carl. Now, Cal?
Yeah, what up?
All right, Cal. You being a team leader and a sales manager, but let's get how did you start with sales? How'd you get into it?
Yeah, that's a funny one, man, because my relationship with sales, like if I look back growing up, I started in the factory, man. I was mad like blue collar. So I was against sales. I was in the factories for about 8 years. I was a boilermaker by trade, right? Mm-hmm. And I would look at you and you'd be like, I'm in the office. And if I hear you're a salesperson, I'm thinking you're a used car salesman. You're trying to sell me, you're dirty, et cetera, et cetera.
Word.
So we had the global financial crisis, right? 2008 or whatever it was.
2008, yeah.
We lost contracts in Toyota. So I go into sales unintentionally. So I go try to do the Filipino thing, right? I try to get a big company. Yeah. They go, oh, it's Telstra. I'm like, dope. So I go to Telstra. I want to do customer service. I don't know why the fuck I would want to do that, but I did it. I get there and then my first day, the guy writes on the board, sales 101. Bro, I cracked this shit. So I'm like, what the fuck, sales? But yeah, that's how I got into sales. And then I realized, I'm like, bro, there's nothing better than sales. Like, if you're like me, like, if you're mad competitive, like, what better bro, like, they have a fucking leaderboard. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, in the factory, I could work as hard as I wanted to work.
Mm-hmm.
No recognition.
You're just a number.
I'm just a number, bro, because I'm still doing the same process.
No recognition.
I could be sweaty and shit. No one would give a fuck.
No. Yeah.
In sales, I'm actually legitimately better than you because the fucking board says so. You know what I mean? Like, and if you want to come get it. Like, that's nothing. Like,
that's what I bonded with you as well. You were pushing me.
Yeah.
As well. And when I came into the company that worked together selling health insurance, I had no experience selling health insurance. Yeah. And remember what I told you the first day of training?
Yeah. Bro, like, he was like straight up, like, just like, he wanted to be the best. I'm like, yeah. Bro. Like,
I go, what's the record here?
Yeah. When I hear that, bro, like, fucking, it's one of two things. It's either you're full of shit or I can say, like, fuck, all right, there's something special here, bro. Because like, there's a personality with salespeople, bro. And
it's called sociopathic.
Yeah, 100%.
nearly, bro.
It is though.
man.
It is though. We can disguise it, bro. I'll outwardly say I'm a narcissistic, sociopathic motherfucker.
I think for me, it's like sales people and the working relationship that we have is almost like sports.
It is.
It's almost like sports. It's like the closest thing.
In
Because
order
like,
to be successful, you have to work together, and you have to back each other.
and you also have to be fucking hungry, competitive, willing to put in the work. And that's the thing about sales, man. Like
100.
So
This is the thing about sales, though, that I think is that the Australian, I guess Australia as a whole, has a very misguided understanding about what sales is. Because there's two ways to look at it. Either you tell people you're in sales and they go, okay, they associate you with a call center with a million motherfuckers in India or Philippines going, good morning, this is Karl calling from Optus. And this is like,
sir.
And it's like mad customer service. You're bottom of the barrel. You're getting paid 5 cents an hour. You are not winning at life. That's one demographic that people associate with sales. The second thing they associate with sales is what you said, used car salesman. Would you like to participate in a survey, door knocking, annoying people? So that's generally the two demographics that Australians, when they hear you're in sales, they think you're either a shit kicker or you're an annoying motherfucker, right? Yeah. The third thing that Australians see or associate with sales is what's sensationalized in movies. Stock markets, people throwing shit around, paper being thrown, people yelling and screaming, jumping on desks. What Martin Scorsese,
that's Wolf of Wall Street, bro.
Wolf of Wall Street, and the thing is, Australians, they see that and they go, "That's sensationalized. That's movie. That's dramatic. That's not real." But the irony is, real high stress, high commission, high sales, the shit that we live for, is ironically more. Well, it is the third more than it is the first two.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
It is the third, but people don't see that. People don't realize that. I got homies that when they first meet me, they're like, what do you do? Oh, I work in sales. And they think, oh, well, I got a university degree. I got this, I got that. I'm making 80K a year. Cool. Yeah. Well, I work in sales and you're looking down on me, but I own 2 properties. I own 5 cars and I haven't made less than 6 figures a year in the last 5 years. So who's winning here exactly? Like it has such a negative connotation and it shouldn't. But the problem is, if we try to change perception, it probably will make it harder for us to keep doing what we're doing. So we have to keep doing it how we're doing it.
Yeah.
It has to stay that way.
I think
it has to stay that way because the preconceived ideas that people have are the things we use against them in order to be successful.
There's a special, maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe it's not a special breed, but there's a particular type of person or personality that you need to be successful in sales.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Right. I agree.
You need to have a chip on your shoulder.
Yes.
You need to be willing to work hard, and you got to have resilience, man. Like
100%. That's the main.
If you come into our game, you got to be happy to hear 100 no's. It's just like it's life.
Yeah.
100 no's to get you a BMW, or 100 no's to get you the Mercedes, or 100 no's to get you the house.
It's like 100,000 no's. Though.
Yeah, 100. But
100%.
If you're prepared to take that on board, then man, I'd rather get 100 no's and go 4 years of college.
Yeah. I did that. That's what's funny. I got into sales because I started out doing the traditional route. Went to VCE, had a half decent enter, went into tertiary education, started professional writing and editing, wanted to be a writer, did everything, and then was like, yo, I got mad debts I got to pay, so I got to do something. Unintentionally fell into sales because my mum was working at Telstra Mexico in Burwood.
I accidentally fell into sales. I was telling you guys,
same thing.
I was in the factory, bro. And before I went into the factory, so I'm not retarded by any stretch, right? So, I am 100% retarded.
I disagree with that sentiment.
But check this out.
Definitely retarded, but go ahead.
I went to RMIT as a 17-year-old because I'm on the borderline, April or whatever the cutoff is.
Yep.
So I'm going to RMIT and I finished my first semester high distinctions and then that gets pregnant.
Ooh, okay, that's different though. That's life. Me
as a man, I'm like, I'm going to go get it.
You have to step up.
But then I would never go back to going to study.
Nah, this is the thing, bro. You know what's funny for me? So I was studying, and I still have a massive passion for writing, and we can go into that later. But it's funny because after my second year, I think, of professional writing editing, my lecturer pulls me aside and she goes, "Karl, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm studying writing. I want to be a writer." And she goes, "Well, you already have the makings of a writer. You have a great story to tell. You have a great vocabulary. You're very articulate, very intelligent. You can write already. There's nothing that you're going to get from this course. And I think she was trying to have a Robin Williams, oh, Captain, my Captain moment where I'd be like, where I would suddenly be like, she's right. And I would go out and write a fucking, you know, Oprah,
the New York Times.
Oprah fucking bestseller list, right? But instead, all I got from that was, I can't teach you nothing. So you know what I did? Rather than fucking focus their energy into being a good writer, I focused into making money elsewhere. Because I was like, you can't teach me shit. I'm already making money on the side, working part-time in this sales gig. I might as well just keep doing sales. And ironically, that's how it's been ever since. Since then, I've actually gotten back into writing and I'm now writing on the side. But like, yeah.
Sales is the only thing I know. Like, I worked in the factory, right?
Yeah.
So in the factory, you got a ceiling. You can only do so many hours a day.
Yep.
Right? You get danger money and you push your body so much. I had like a fucking 80-year-old body. I was 25, right? And by law, you have a 10-hour break between your shifts. So you actually cannot do more than like what you're allowed to do.
Word.
Sales is the only gig I knew that you could duplicate yourself, man. I used to sit there like a retard. I'd be sitting on the line. Sometimes like, because like it's such an easy job when you're in the factory, and Heroes came out at that time. And I remember like looking at the line, trying to like stop the line, like, because I'm retarded, right? I'm trying to stop the line with my eyes and it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, fuck, it would be mad if I could just duplicate myself. And then when I went into sales, I'm like, God damn, this is it.
Yeah.
I just duplicated my wage. Then when I got good at it, I'm like, fuck, my commissions is making more than my base.
Damn,
Damn,
that's the sudden realization that I think real salespeople have when they go, oh, okay, wait a second. This went from a temporary fix to, and that's why so many people come back to it. They call it the golden handcuffs.
Yeah, man, there's 18-year-olds, man, that I work with. They'll make like 180 grand a year.
There you go.
18-year-olds.
There you go.
Then these people are going to uni and, look, can't like, the thing with universities, I feel like it's something that's been pushed from us, from our parents, like an older generation. 100%. We grew up thinking that older people, like the people that graduated from university, were successful automatically.
Because that's how it used to be. In order for you to get the high-paying jobs, you had to have those qualifications.
Yeah.
The irony is now you don't necessarily have to.
That's Western culture, but so Western culture is go get a good education, get a good job, blah, blah.
Yep.
You look at Eastern culture, the Chinese and stuff like that, right? They have businesses everywhere. They don't teach you to go and get an education.
No,
they teach you to make money. Fucking run a business.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that's
right.
Even in the Philippines, bro. The rich people in the Philippines are the Chinese. They have the Chinese Filipinos. They're fair. Like fucking Philos love a fair Filipino, right? And it's all, bro. They just do businesses, bro.
It's true. It's true.
So people that run businesses, like that's where.
That's the thing. That's what they fail to teach. It's like there's no life lessons or anything like that. It's just all this.
I learned nothing useful in school. I'll put that out there right now. I went to a very shit school for the record, but I didn't learn anything of use in school. Everything I learned, I either learned through personal experience or I taught myself. That's the truth. For real. The only thing I learned from a school I went to was how to fucking smoke a bong. Like, it's the truth though. That's all I learned. I didn't learn anything of use. There's nothing that
Everyone's different. Everyone can have their takes in school.
Of course, but my high school experience was not a positive one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In any way. Legit, it's the truth. Like, I taught myself everything else. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think the traditional path that our parents and their parents think we need to do in order to be air quotes successful. But what is successful? Is successful having a good job and being depressed? Is successful having tons of money and not knowing what to do with it?
Yeah.
Or successful waking up feeling accomplished and going, I enjoy my life?
Yeah. Now the thing is, like, you got to have purpose.
100.
So this is the thing that we've learned at our workplaces as well, is having goals, having what do we want 5 years from now. So we have these images in our head. Okay, cool. I want to have these properties. Let's say this is sales employee number, just an example. He wants to have this property. He wants to have this car, whatever. So that person has that purpose coming into work and he can be able to maximize the energy and deliver that day. But whereas someone that doesn't have that and they're coming into sales like, oh, whatever, it's just a job. you're going to fail. You're not going to.
So like, I guess touching back on like what you said, like coming in as a team leader, sales manager.
Yeah.
The reason why I stayed in sales was because you're able to give, in my mind anyways, like you're able to give the underdog opportunity, bro.
That's right.
It was the fucking best feeling, man. Like being able to show somebody the ability or the path to get further ahead than they thought they could get. That's what got me up in the morning. Like that.
You're a coach.
Yeah, because like with sales, bro, like you're almost like a fucking basketball coach, bro.
You're a coach.
I mean,
You're a
and
coach.
then on top of all of that, you get immediate wins, but then it's something that if you give someone sales skills and you help them understand, like, because sales is life, right? Like
It's tangible.
you sell all the time. Like if you get an interview, you're fucking selling, bro.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
selling yourself,
You
yeah.
go pick up a girl, you're selling,
yourself.
bro.
100%.
Everything that you do is selling.
If you're sitting in the corners and saying "Kia ora,"
Bro.
you're selling yourself.
100%. You know what I mean? Like
If you're an Ackland Street between 2 and 3,
you're selling. Or
You're selling
if you got a set of tits and a dick on you, you're selling yourself.
something, baby. Hey, you're selling something. And depending on how fucked up I am, I might buy the shit. I'm just saying.
Like, so you give someone sales skills, and then you can show them like a path or an opportunity, or like a fucking, this is how you get better. Bro, like one of the dudes I used to work with, I won't name him.
No names here.
Yeah, but he came in, and when he got interviewed, he goes, "Oh, I really want this, blah blah," and he was young, and I'm like, "Cool."
I know.
Wouldn't usually hire you.
I know who this is.
I hire him, and he goes, "You've changed my life."
Yeah.
And then he became a boss, like just like gave me every ounce of his effort. And when I saw that, I'm like, repaid him tenfold, bro. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah,
and he still does well.
Yeah, but as long as their mindset is right and they actually accept that information they're getting and they take action.
But there's a negative to this though, because in the environment that we live in, it is like a sport. It is like a game, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a team mentality, because you do work for a team, and then you work for a bigger team, which is like the organization, right? Which is the company you work for.
Yeah.
So if you want to relate it to sport, which is probably the easiest analogy to make, it's like playing basketball. Every shot you make, when it hits, dopamine release, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean you win the game. But every shot you put up, every block you make, every steal you make, every assist you make, there's a little bit of dopamine, right? And every one of those inputs contributes to the bigger picture, right? And then you win the game when you attain the level of the target, whatever it is that you're trying to set out. That's when you win, right?
Yeah.
But it's the little things in between. It's the little bits that relate to sports in a way where it's like a dopamine release, right? But the problem is that it can go two ways. You can be a person that's got good morals, and who is humble, who is willing to accept when they're not good and when they are good, and just go, how can I put this? You can use that money and that skill to be successful in other areas of your life. The people that tend to get stuck are the ones that attribute to their entire life success revolving around this one thing. And that's the thing that kind of makes me worry, because there's a lot of people that unfortunately don't really have a life outside of that office.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
That's
sad.
the bubble I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that's kind of sad.
It's very sad.
But unfortunately we breed them to be that good.
Yeah.
And I mean, the level of dedication that some people have.
When I was working there, I wish I had a better mental state. I would react, not respond. I would get agitated, and I
You're
had
a
this.
beast, bro. When you were
He was a fuck, yo.
you're a force to be reckoned with. Like you put yourself up with the other bang brother, bro. Like it was like fuck.
Dude,
That was, yeah.
these motherfuckers slept in the office.
Yeah, I slept at the office.
You brought mad energy, and I think like.
Dude, you were a force to be reckoned with, but you were hot as fuck, bro. You were dynamite. You were too quick on the trigger. Like, and it's cool to see you as a man evolve and understand your flaws, accept them, and fix them.
It's almost like
that's mad growth.
I look back because I remember when you were there, and it was like the big month, right? And like maybe your viewers or your listeners don't know about this, right?
Yeah.
But it was a big month, and it's almost like I look back, and it's like we're going through the playoffs.
Yeah.
This
right?
guy
and
was,
everything is on the line, right?
everything's on the line. We're game 7, baby. We're going in.
And everything is amplified and blah blah, and like you're going hard out at it, and like your emotions get amplified.
Yeah.
But like also your wins get amplified, right? So like I watch the whole situation. I'm like, damn, this is really like one of the best things I've ever seen. You see growth, but then you see like the realness of like, I messed up. And like you get upset at yourself, and that's when you need your coach to go.
You need your coach,
hey,
and
bro,
I didn't.
hey,
I
bro,
wish you were my coach, but I'm not going to say who my coach
but it's different,
was.
right? Like even in the industry, like that doesn't exist widespread. You don't have people that have like, I want to bring this vision.
It was like you were like the young Kobe, and you were like fucking.
Yeah,
You
bro.
were Phil Jackson. You were Phil Jackson.
You were Phil Jackson, and he was Kobe. And I was
Bro,
like,
he was young Kobe, bro. Like he was like,
legit. Dev was a beast. Like the thing is, bro. Like to give you an example of differences,
because that's
like,
the thing, work ethic, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Kobe thing, right? Work ethic, bro.
So Dev when he on his first big month, the record at like
500 something thousand?
536,000.
Yeah.
I remember that
I
because
don't know, you smashed it, but
536.
700,000.
536.
pretty sure you laid waste to it, bro.
Yeah, waste.
536 was the number that was the highest set record for that month. My goal was to beat that. I did that by 15K. I did 550. With 7 years in, Dev with 1 month in wrote 700.
Dev would walk in and he, like, you're right, it's a great analogy. Dev would walk in and he would be the Kobe Bryant. Like,
Who's in front of me?
you won't
You're next.
outwork me.
Yeah, yes.
That's what I love about this dude.
That's what I
Dev's
did.
work
It's like-
ethic was crazy.
I was cocky with it as well. I would go to
He'll pull
people.
dudes up. He's like, hey, man, pull your head in. Stop being a
100%.
sook.
Dev pulled me in.
We're
Yo, I was a
staying late.
vet. I was a 7-year vet. Dev pulled me in. So I was
I
like,
don't know
what's
if,
wrong?
like, maybe his viewers don't know this, or his listeners don't know this, but Dev was an integral part in the very first match.
Yeah,
it was like
the most successful that company has ever had at that point.
bro, like,
Bro, I was like Jamal Crawford. I'm already 10 years in. I'm
your
off the
back
bench.
brother
Yeah.
was good because of you.
Yes,
I know I pulled him up.
dude. He pulled. Not just him. There was 4 other dudes that are integral to that month's success.
And that's what I
was
love
good
about
with
sales. Like, that's the thing that got me going, because like you say like that, like that's, you won't outwork me. I mean, for like, bro, like that's the best thing you could ever see.
This is the thing.
That's what I love
I
about
was a
sales.
psycho with it as well. I would go up to people in your team as well. I'd be like, "Oh, you're
100.
above me by 10,000. You're next." It was like Game of
You know
Thrones.
what's
Yeah, bro.
funny,
Yeah, that's the thing,
That's-
bro. That's the thing. That was
That's
dope.
what I love about sales, bro. And the thing is, I was like that when I first started. By the time I got to that particular company and me and Dev met each other, I was already a vet. I was already many years in, right? And so for me, I was a playmaker. Dev was the rising star. Every bucket, get the whole team involved.
Just mad energy, bro. Like,
Yes, unbelievable. But me, I had already proven my point. I had already had 3 rings.
Yeah.
I was like, no, for real. I was already the vet.
Yeah, but that annoyed me.
But
That's
here's
why I would pull you up on it, because
Nah,
I'm
but-
like, you were
but
too cool with it.
bro,
I'm like,
you
dude,
would
nah.
even pull up Carl, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dev had definitely had a big influence in the way I turned that month around. But,
100%.
But the thing is, I came into that company as like a Jamal Crawford, right? I got the hands, I have all the skill, I'm reliable when you need me to be, but I've already proven my point. I'm 6 man off the bench. You can count. You can count me for.
But that didn't mean shit to me, because you're
Dev-
still there.
But Dev did not get the love and respect he should have got.
No, 100%.
At that award night.
No, I 100%.
That's what you pulled me into the bathroom, man. I was emotional.
Yeah, but
agree
like-
with that.
Because you worked for it, bro. Like, it is what it is. And I felt your pain, but like, even now talking about it, it's like, not pissing in nobody's pockets. Like, that energy, bro, like, you turned a lot of people's months around. Like, you were fucking massive in that. Because
Thank you.
if you weren't there to do that, because like, that's the thing, like, it takes 1 or 2 people spark belief,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and
belief.
2 or 3 people look around and go, fuck, this guy's doing it. All right, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Bro,
To give you an example, that record
Yeah.
of 536,000 was not only one person because of Dev's hype
yeah.
wrote 1 million. Dev in his first month wrote 700. I wrote 550, but that's expected of me being a vet. But there was about 7 people that just demolished that record. But a lot of the fire was brought because of him.
Yeah, bro. He was one of the guys who would stay back every night, man. Like, there was
See,
like,
stay
there was a small
back.
crew.
I stayed
The
back
last
every
day of the
But I
night.
used to see you.
The
when
la-
I was training, when I first started training in February, I used to see you there all the time, and you'd finish later. So I'm like, I'm gonna stay back,
Yeah.
even though I'm not making money. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna try my best.
You know it's gonna come.
I'm like, I have to, because I see him there.
Yeah.
My team, everyone's gone, but
Yeah.
I see you and your team. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna prepare myself, because March is going to be the biggest month. So I went in there.
Yeah.
How many hours a day were we doing, man?
Bro, we're doing mad hours. but, like, that's
illegal hours.
You-
Like,
yeah.
illegal hours.
Like, my team was like one of the only teams that would do it, because they saw me as a
yeah,
leader go,
here's the thing.
I believe this is what we're doing.
This is the thing.
And they come in, and like,
This is
that's
the
what we
thing.
did.
Before Cal joined that company, it was very much a every man for himself company. Cal did something that has completely changed that business, and it still runs today. It's changed from a every man for himself. I work towards a target, I make my target, I go home, to we are a team and we do things together. And Cal
Well,
single-handedly...
but we don't isolate too. But this is where you were huge in that business. We were fighting the old guard. The old guard is still there. So you got your other people, they're like, hey man, this motherfucker's lying to you, bro. He's selling you a dream, blah, blah. What are you doing? Why are you staying back? And then you're in the background going, fuck that. Are you guys staying back? What are you doing like tonight?
But that's culture.
That changes everything.
And that was something that, and the reason why your team had so much success in that month is because you single-handedly changed an entire business's culture. And Dev was the guy in the background screaming.
you can't do it without people like Dev.
Exactly, you can't.
No, but with you, like you're very emotionally intelligent as well.
In some cases.
No, but no, but in terms of micromanagement as well, with what each player, you knew the people that how to get them going as well. Yeah. You know, because would run flat as well. We're like, fuck, man, what's that? And but just a little chat with you, Phil Jackson, fucking the vet, Michael Jordan,
legit,
as our coach.
You are Phil Jackson for real.
I'm telling you, it was like, yeah, that's it. It was just that little. We just needed a charger. Our iPhone battery's dying. Speak with Cal for a bit. I'm telling you, we're back to 100%.
But see, this is
and I love you for that.
I think a lot of people are not going to
handshake.
A lot of people don't realize just okay. This is going to sound super sensationalized to people because we've gone very very deep into things that I don't think people really understand. So like. What we essentially do, the business that we at all point once worked in was the industry where people get really confused about. Because what we essentially do is we compare health insurance. And there's a number of health insurance companies out there, from actual health insurance funds like your Medibanks, your Boopers, to your compare companies like the ones that are essentially middleman for other companies. The difference between what we do and other people do is that we're not selling you something that you don't already want. So the idea behind our business model is that people come to our website voluntarily because they are either wanting more information, they want to compare something, or they're unhappy with something. Our job is just to call them back and say, hey, we saw you were comparing. It might have been by mistake. It might have been because you have a problem. What was that problem? And we're here to help you find a solution for it. And the thing is, what people don't realize is the commission on jobs like that, like you work for a mortgage company, a mortgage broker, you're waiting 6 months to get paid because there's legislation in between. You're waiting for this to drop, that to drop, that to drop. Whereas our job is weirdly interesting because it's almost like it's transactional, but it's not. And it's a transactional sale where it's very heavily emotionally driven because we're not just saying change from fucking Telstra to Optus and we'll give you a $5 discount. Nah, this is you going, okay, I've got kids, I've got history of cancer, I have heart problems, my mum died of this, that, whatever. It's very emotional, but we make it as easy and as transactional as possible. And it's very hard for people to understand how to turn something that is a month-long decision for some people into a 15-minute phone call. And that's what creates so much solidarity and so much hype is because what we're doing is not easy, and every cent we make, we work hard as fuck for to do. But it's not easy.
I think it's not easy until, and not to undermine, but like it's not easy until it becomes easy, bro.
Yeah, that's
what
right.
I mean, like it's not easy until you get the formula.
It's easy for us, but
there's a lot of skills behind that you have to know.
It's skills, bro.
So for the listeners, this is something that you can learn. Is like there's a whole process to sales from scratch. It's things like tonality. It's when you talk to them for the first 15 seconds about matching and mirroring. I remember all this shit.
It's all
you speak to an old person and you're talking about, let's say we're talking like this. Hi, am I speaking to Samantha or Julie? How are you today? No, that shit doesn't work. You go, hello, am I speaking to Margaret? Margaret's like, oh, yeah. Hi, Margaret. I'm calling from this company, and you just like, you play with your tones and
the job
you
is
match them.
The first 15 seconds of the call is a person who is receiving a call they weren't expecting. Yeah, they might have actually shown interest, but they weren't expecting you to call them. They're in the middle of doing their washing. They're in the middle of feeding their kids, right? They're not in the same headspace they were in when they made the decision to go compare their health insurance.
So pre-objection
And
handling.
our job is to bring you back to that moment of why were you looking? Because right now you're busy. Cool.
I think
you're busy.
that's where you become really good, man.
And it's knowing how to direct the conversation back to, okay, I caught you off guard. Your defenses are as high as fuck right now because you don't know me and I've just called you at a random time. And I would have bring you back to that moment of, but why were you comparing?
Yeah.
See, but that's transferable anyway. Like,
No, agreed.
If you understand the psychology about why you do something,
Yeah.
then you'll be. It's great.
It doesn't matter what product it is.
No,
Bro, like when I was training your group, right?
Yeah.
And I've done it with other groups. I'll do this, and if the whole group say, like for the listeners, I'm like nodding my head. I'll do this, and I'll say cool, and if the group goes cool, and they nod their head, I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they don't even know what the fuck they're nodding their head, but they're
Exactly.
like mad rapport with
That's
me right now.
psychology taught as well.
And behavioral science
and
is
I'll know
90%
that I've got the group. So like with my son, like say for the listeners, like my son's 18 and he works in sales.
Yeah.
He hates it now because he's like, I'm like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, the fuck you saying yes to? He's like, I hate you.
Yo,
I'm always getting him.
Yeah.
yo.
And
Shout
it's
out
not-
to your son, bro. Your son's a G, though. For real.
But it's not about like being a manipulator, but
It is, though. It is.
No, not all
Influence.
manipulate. You can manipulate. Sales is it can.
No,
It's all
we
influence,
like this influence. It's just another
No,
way.
it's, you know what it is? It's like, here, let me grab your hand and let me show you that what you've already looking for.
Yeah, but you have to manipulate. Okay, we can say a much nicer term and say we are influencing them. Right?
yeah,
No,
you
we're not
gotta-
doing that either.
So I fucked up once.
Sounds like yo, straight
Yo,
up.
I
straight
fucked up once
yo.
and I said this, right? Check this. I go, once I fucked up, I go to my missus. I'm a master manipulator. I should have never used
No,
that.
you don't, no, whoa. You don't say that to your partner.
When I said that out loud, I caught myself saying, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck I say that for?
Yeah.
And after that, I never lived it down. So influence is good.
Nah, but
I'm a master influencer.
on the real though,
I sell
real-
skinny me teas on Instagram.
No, but for real, it is manipulation. It is.
Yeah, but it is.
Okay, and manipulation is not a negative thing. Because here's the thing: if you come to me with a problem and you're now caught off guard because you weren't ready to solve the problem in this moment, I am manipulating you in a way that benefits you. I'm not doing it in a negative way. I've never, ever, to this day, hand on heart, ever suggested, recommended, or sold a product to somebody that didn't benefit them ever intentionally.
But everything's semantics, right? So you're saying manipulation, I'm saying influence is semantics. It's the outcome, it's the same.
It's the outcome.
It's-
Fucking
right.
potatoes and watermelons, same.
100%.
Yeah.
Same.
But-
They grow on the ground, right?
But you are manipulating because what you're doing is, and the way and the art to sales is you get somebody to recognize an issue with their current situation. They have to verbalize it. You tell them that you can definitely help with.
You tailor it towards their needs.
Right, but the thing is, they have to feel like it's all coming from them.
100%.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Because if you're the one that's saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, I'm going to fix it. They haven't made any decision at all.
Yeah.
So the idea is they have to come to the resolve, and the only way that's going to stick and they feel happy about the outcome, even though you've caught them off guard while they're picking up the 6 kids from school, is that they are the ones that feel like they're in control, when in reality we are the ones that are controlling it, which is manipulation.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
manipulation.
valid, of course.
We're influencing them to make the right decision, but we are manipulating the conversation.
What we're doing is we're stealing their money.
Hell yeah.
Yo, no, for real. But it's the truth, though. Like I've never.
Back to like the pre-objection handling, because we keep running around in circles.
Go.
So with pre-objection handles, let's get back to how to set up calls, or even with talking face to face, right? But
Talking to a girl in a nightclub, right?
yeah. Now, with pre-objection handling, when someone would say, when you call them up, they're like, look, I'm busy, I'm in a meeting, I'm about to pick up my kids from school, or whatever it is, I'm busy meeting. There's always the same things that they say.
Everyone.
But what we, as these weapons over the phone, will pre-objection be like, look, hey, Anthony, I understand, mate. Look, it's a Monday afternoon. The last thing you want to do is talk about health insurance. You're probably busy. You know, I probably got it at a bad time, but I'm not here to waste your time. So you're putting yourself in their shoes like, I understand. So you have to take control and don't let them speak.
Bro, you're
as much.
Eminem right now.
Huh?
You're Eminem. You're 8 Mile.
That's
Eminem.
it.
Tell these
Eminem.
people something they don't know
Yeah, I do live
about
in a
me.
trailer with my mum.
Yeah.
Fuck Papa Doug, fuck Papa.
That's what you're doing. But like, that's the most powerful thing to do. Like, if you know the psychology behind it,
It's all behavioral science, Jay.
bro, like, because people like fucking, they give you 2 seconds, right?
Yep.
And their first 2 seconds that they give you is going to be like, hey, I'm busy.
Yeah.
And then when you short circuit them, then they're all yours. They're putty in your hand. When you go, hey man, I know that you're busy, and they go, look, I'm busy, and you're like, yeah, I know, that's why I said, I know you're busy, and they're like, but all of a sudden they listen to you.
You know why? Because Australians' preconception of sales is,
Not just
good morning,
Australians, bro,
it
it's
is Karl
everybody.
calling from
Yeah,
up, so
yeah.
would you like to participate in a sale? But no, and so basically when they hear those calls, they know I'm not interested, and you go, actually the reason why I'm calling is because of this, and I understand that you're busy, and I know that you've received these calls before. However, it says here that you were doing this, and this. Is that correct? Yeah, it is.
It's about getting them out of that loop.
And it's getting them out of their defensive mode so that their wall comes down. And and ironically, you can do that in every facet of life. You go to a girl at a bar, right? She's sitting there with her girls, right? And you walk straight up to her. Now we've all got game, right? This is the reality, right? This is the truth, right? Like we've all. I'm just saying, like, we know how to talk to people, right?
No game.
So what is okay. Shout outs to Carl's wife. But
I don't know
for
what's
real
going
though,
on.
like if you walk up to this is, and by the way, if this is new to you as a guy listening, then
100%.
then you are an idiot. But the reality is, girls go out dressed up to have fun, to go party, do whatever, right? But girls know that they're gonna have guys come up to them and be fucking sleazy. Right, so their defenses are high as shit. So when they're by themselves, they go into the bathroom, they're at the bar by themselves. The absolute worst thing you can do is walk straight up to them and go, "Hey, would you like it?" No, because their defense instantly is no. So how do you get them to fucking talk to you? You do something they're not expecting. And it's the same thing with sales. Is you do something that the person on the other end is not expecting.
I'll give you an example. When I used to sell, like they used my phone calls, these ones that I've done during training to teach people at this. I'm not gonna say the name of the company, but it would be like, like I gotta speak to my husband, and I'd be like, oh yeah, does your husband make decisions for you? Put them on the spot.
Yeah, just grab them.
and they're like, oh no. I'd be like, how about this? Don't tell your husband that you're saving money on electricity and gas, all right?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not going to care anyway. But how about this? With the money you do save electricity and gas, go surprise him. Go buy him a fishing rod or something.
Hey.
Bang.
Game over.
It's just playing with them. You have fun
You know
with
what's
it.
funny? I used to have at the company we used to work for prior to this company, they used to play my calls in training as to what not to do. Remember this? Yeah, because I used to play in the grey area so much that I ended up getting in a bit of trouble. But I fixed it.
What's the funniest phone call you guys have had?
Funniest phone
something
call?
stupid you had to do, or this customer, or
I'll give you a story. I once had this woman who was so like from the get-go was so against, like, to the point where I'm like, why did you even go on our website? She was so not willing to participate. And Karl will attest to this. Like, I'm not the guy that goes out there and tries to break records. I'm not the guy that goes out there to try to write the most sales at the biggest. That was never me. My goal was, because I'm such a again, narcissistic, sociopathic idiot. The thing that I got dopamine from was getting the worst possible client, where most people would go, okay, that's not worth it, and then make them love me. And that's why in certain KPIs, we look at conversion and turning what is essentially an unknown lead into a possible sale. And that's a stat that they can convert, that they can track. And I was always a stat geek. I was always like, yeah, you wrote more than me, but you also burned 50,000 more leads than me.
Yeah.
And I was more efficient because I'm telling cunts that don't want to talk to me why they should talk to me. And I had this woman who was so against the idea of health insurance that she was like, the first half an hour of the conversation was me agreeing with her and her being like, health insurance is a rort, it's a ripoff, we don't need it. And then you know what I said to her? I agree. It's a ripoff. It's a complete waste of money. And she was so taken aback because she's like, well, wait a minute, like, you're not supposed to agree with me. Like, and what do you, and as a person who has got this ready to go objection to go, this is going to get me off this phone call, is health insurance is a complete waste of time and you're wasting my time talking about it. And I go, I agree. And that's why I've called you. And you go, wait a second, what? What do you say to that? I'm a health insurance salesperson and I'm saying to you, I agree, health insurance is a rort.
Yeah, I guess that's how you build trust with her.
Right, but this is the thing, is she was so completely not ready for that it bought me a window. And then the funny thing is, this chick ended up liking me. I think I was in your team at the time at our old company. She liked me so much that I found out that she was an author. She had a daughter with special needs.
That's the thing about Karl. He'll like get into nitty gritty. He's like, this person was a doctor. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you just? How do you know this shit?
She owns 3 dildos.
No,
Like, aren't you selling them? Like,
no, because the way that we teach people how to sell is a quick formula, right? But I would do shit that would get rapport to the point where these people, like I would go deep into behavioral science and I want to learn about who you are, and I will find the thing and I will grab it and I will tug on that over and over and over again. Now that's again a part of my sociopathic tendencies.
That's what we do, man.
But I was really hardcore.
Get as much information as you can.
But the thing is, a lot of information is not necessary because there is a streamlined way to do this where you can go from beginning to the end very quickly. And
that's how you set it up like that as well.
Of course, but I would go deeper. But I would go deeper for no reason other than just to prove a point. And so the weirdest call was this chick went from being like, I hate everything you represent, to me agreeing with her and going, yo, I agree. Health insurance is a complete waste of money. And then she going silent for 5 seconds. Then me digging into and finding out she has a daughter with special needs. She's an author. I used to be an author. I used to study writing as well. That's amazing. We have something in common. Talk to me about your book. To the point where she loved me so much, she sent me a copy of her book to the company I used to work to. That's cool. It was a copy of a book, and I still have it, which is weird because I don't really need it. It's about how to live with a daughter with special needs. Touch wood, I never need to know anything about that. But it was like, this person hated me, and then she sent me a copy of her book.
But that's the idea behind sales, right? That's what we want to do. We always want to get them from a no to a yes.
Yeah, that's it.
That's sales, right?
But the difference is I'm so sociopathic that I want you to give me the biggest no. Not just I'm busy right now.
Yeah.
Like, I hate everything you represent. Cool, I hate it too.
How about you, Cal? What was yours?
Shit. So I got two. Like, one was when I went to health insurance.
Yeah.
Because I went into health insurance and I have never done health insurance in my life. And they made me a leader. Yeah. So it was hard, man. You go into health insurance and you got all these fucking big time salespeople, like 6-figure earners, and they've all got an ego with it's just like exactly like a bunch of Carls. Yeah. And you got this guy coming in and people hear, fuck, no, he doesn't have health insurance. So now it's like blood in the water, like fuck this guy. I go in there and I'm like, all right, fuck it. First call, I'm going to show them. First call, first sell. I don't know fuck all about health insurance. I go first call, first sell. I do like a 4-way split.
Yo.
If people don't know, like, it's the hardest thing you could do. Yeah. I butcher the fuck out of this call, but I still get the sale, right? Yeah. And I've got my team members listening to me. So I had Ryan and Melzy listening, and they're like, sorry, fuck, no names. Blah, 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 blah.
They're pretty generic names.
And they're listening like, what the fuck? And I just like sell 4 policies, full butcher it. So that was the first one. But like,
on the topic of this, just before you say the second one, I just want to say one thing that Cal did as a leader that I will always respect him for is that he did something that not many team leaders would ever do, is that in a time where our team was struggling, one of the team members wanted to have aspirations to be a leader, and Cal wanted to help with that. Yeah. But at the same time, Cal was like, how can I double down on this and do something that's never been done before? So Cal, as a leader with no real health experience training, just learnt what he picked up after a couple of years of being a leader, literally switched roles with a salesperson and let this person be a TL for a month, and Cal
out of a June.
And Cal stepped down and got on the phones with no training
for a full month.
And end up not only...
And I was a fucking weapon. I was a sick and I smashed it.
Cal was in the top 5 salespeople with veterans, gave his team member an opportunity to...
Bro, my whole team, and I had a high-performing team. I smoked every kind of my team.
You smoked me. Yeah. You smoked me.
No doubt. I couldn't expect anything less.
And this is the thing, is that, but this is the thing. This is the thing about Cal. Is like Cal gave somebody an opportunity to prove themselves as a leader, and at the same time brought himself down to our level. Yeah. And the respect from that moment went, like, if you had any doubts about what Cal was capable of, it was quelled in that month, because you had guys that were out there that were killers, and Cal was chasing those motherfuckers down and beating them at something that he wasn't supposed to be good at.
It was funny,
and at the same time giving that person a leg up.
It was funny because at the time the leaders were like, they were tripping like, hey, what are you doing? And I didn't realize, because like in my mind I'm always like, I'm glass full.
Yeah.
Not glass half empty. I'm always like glass full. So these leaders are like, what happened if you don't sell? I'm like, are you serious? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why are we leaders then?
Exactly.
And they were tripping because they were worried, because if I go on the phone for a month and I don't deliver, no one's going to believe any team leader.
You know, that's like what Jordan does. He's like, he never asks from his team members that something that he won't do himself.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
He never asked anything that he wasn't.
When I went to the new
himself.
company, right? I went to the new company first day, first sale. Not compliant. It's not what I do, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. First call, first sale, not compliant. They got like my biggest challenge. Turn him around straight away.
Yep.
I remember one day I go to the team, I go, hey, what's the fucking record in the company? And they go, the record is this many sales in a day. I go, cool. So this is a sales environment. I have a modafinil, right, which is like the whole fucking next level focus, right? It's like that.
For those listening, modafinil is like Adderall.
If anyone has ever seen the movie, what's that movie? Limitless.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So I have a modafinil, right?
Yeah.
So when I take the modafinil, I jump on. I end up doing like 14 sales or some shit in that day. I look up, haven't eaten, and I'm like, oh fuck, it's 8:30. Everyone's gone home, but I won. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for the record, we don't. I don't know if I can speak on behalf of Deb. We do not promote drug use in any way, shape, or form. But
Well, you know what? Do whatever the fuck you want. Now, back to your second call, because we just got off guard.
Sorry, my G. Sorry.
my bad. So my second
As
call.
a host, I gotta remember where we're steering this.
So I didn't take too many calls in my career unless I wanted to, right? Because I was a leader early on. But when I was on the phones at Telstra, this is like one of the times I was like always an agent.
Yep.
I went on the phones and we were on like the late shift, and this dude jumps on and like I was inbound and the guy is like cracking it, man. And like this is when I just came out of the factories. So I've got like a little bit of chip on me. I'm like a bit of a gangster and stuff. And he jumps on, he's like, I fell out of the shower and smacked my balls on the on the bath. I'm like, no. And he's like, and all I want to do is like, I want to get my bundle sorted, blah, blah. And you guys kept me on the hold for 30 minutes. And I like, and he's yelling at me, he's chastising me for like maybe 15 seconds in the call. Like 15 seconds of chastising is a lifetime, right? Swearing, blah, blah. And I get, hey,
he fell out of the shower and hit his balls.
Yeah, bro. He hit his balls in the bathtub. He's like, apparently his penis is bleeding, and he's yelling at me. Like, said, not my fault.
Why is this the time that you chose to call Telstra?
Yeah, for real. Like, apparently it's my fault that his balls are bleeding. So I stood up, and I remember this like real mad clear. Everyone looked at me like, because I'm real like calm, collected by nature, but I stood up. And now I'm upset. I'm like, yo, we could do one or two things. So then I turned into like Factory Cal. We could do one or two things, man. We could talk about your balls bleeding and not being my fault, or I can help you. What do you want to do?
Yeah, word.
And he was like, okay, I just want my bundle sorted.
You know what's funny, man?
I see. And then I told him. I told him that call.
You know what's funny,
That's
bro?
a sick
Like
one.
Telstra was funny because I also have a background in Telstra, and like you can remember probably back in the day. I mean, obviously legislation's changed since then, but man, the amount of power that an average consultant had just because of how bad like the legacy programs were. Like to give you an idea, Telstra now has become a very different thing. It operates on a much better operating system. But back in the day, those who can relate, shout out some of my C numbers, my Charlies, my Deltas, they know that the original programs were DOS. Okay. Now we're not talking 90s.
Yeah.
We're talking like 2000s. Like we're talking in an era where technology is good enough where we shouldn't be using DOS, right? We were using DOS programs to control billion-dollar accounts, right? And one button
Big accounts.
could completely fuck someone's life up. And I remember being an inbound agent similar to Karl and getting a call where a guy was, I didn't remember why he was upset. I'm pretty sure he didn't fall and hit his balls in a bathtub, but he was upset at something. And he was chastising me to the point where I'm being like, yeah, I understand you're upset. I'm trying to help. To the point where other people have stopped now they're listening, right?
Yeah.
And my, not TL, but my 2IC was now what we call double jacking, which is basically listening to my call. And I'm giving him every out. I'm like, yo, I can escalate this. I can do whatever you want. And this guy's just ranting and ranting and ranting and ranting. And my 2IC goes, hey, in my ear, which the customer can't see, he goes, press F12. And I'm like, what? He's like, press F12 now. And so I press F12. Now, F12 in a program called not FlexCab, what was the other one?
STS.
I press F12, and what F12 does, after I found out after that day, is it disconnects your entire phone line. Not just disconnects the call.
Yeah.
You're now internet, phone, everything off.
You're just a piece of shit. And
I just pressed it. He told me to press it. He's like, yo, fuck that guy. Press it.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure I did not de-escalate. I think I very much aggravated his situation.
Yeah.
But
can we have that phone on silent? Whose phone is that?
It's Carl's.
Nah, that's an iPhone, G.
Oh, shit, it's mine.
Oh, come on, host.
Oh, that's shit.
Yeah, like the amount of power that we had. Like we used to do this thing back in the day at Telstra Business called the Ninja Transfer. Did you ever hear about this, Carl? The Ninja Transfer?
No.
When you had somebody that was so irate and so like you couldn't do anything with, you would just simply like go, yep, I can definitely help you with that. Close your eyes and just press a button and hit it and just see where it went.
Now, that's the thing with me. Like I would never. I think that's me too. Like if you're pissed off, the more pissed off you are, the more I want to win you.
Yeah, for sure.
The more I want to win you. Like that's
what like one of my examples was I called up and the guy picks up the phone. He's like, I can't speak right now, mate. He's like, I'm on a ladder. So he's yelling and I go,
first of all, why do you answer the phone on a ladder?
Why are you completing my sentences?
Sorry, G.
So that's exactly what I said. I go, mate, get down the ladder. So I spoke aggravated.
Get down the ladder.
Get down the ladder.
For real, who answers the phone?
Yeah.
Why are you mad at me? You answer the phone on a ladder.
Yeah.
Don't answer the phone on a ladder, G. Like, Jesus Christ.
And then he's like, oh, okay. Then I calm him down by me getting aggravated. He goes down. he goes down the ladder, and then I'm like, because you were on the website and I'm here to help you out, blah, 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 blah. Get to the point, and this guy was loving me after, and he's like, you know what, mate? He's like, if you scream out in the call center, show me the money, he's like, I'll go with whatever company you want.
I remember this.
So I hit up my teammate, I'm like, hey, I'm going to scream out, show me the money, right? But it's a guaranteed sale. Everyone's looking like, oh, yeah, go for it. So I'm like, all right, mate, show me the money.
Let's go.
And it's like, good, but it's like, I want you to do it louder.
That's the best, bro.
My God.
That's
and I yelled it two
best.
more times. Everyone's looking at me like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
But I sold it.
But you closed it.
Entertaining.
It was like, hey.
That's dope. That is dope. No, to be fair, man, I got mad calls like that, dude. Like the thing is, bro, I've been doing sales since I was 17 years old. I don't know how to do anything else. For real, like if for whatever reason, if something happens and my job becomes obsolete, I'm pretty fucked for real because I don't have nothing else. But it's all I know how to do.
Well, no, I think like anybody in sales is fine, bro. It doesn't matter. Like if our jobs become obsolete tomorrow, like that particular role, doesn't matter where the fuck you go. We got skills, bro.
Yeah, but the problem is like
Dev's like
no, true.
Straight away.
True.
What I want to do is with this sales convo, let's do this podcast another time as well in the next, I don't know, 2 months or 3 months. We'll do it again, but let's have a crash course.
Yeah,
from scratch.
Let's do it.
That'll be fun, so we can actually teach people.
Let's do it.
Because right now we're touching on a lot of things. We're excited. We haven't seen it in a while.
I can give you a quick crash course if you want.
But you know what? We've already talked about sales for 50-some minutes.
Have we really?
Yeah.
Shit, son, for real. God damn, bro. Yo, we have to. Shit. Damn.
No, but it's good because I know that once I have listeners right now, I've probably got negative 14 listeners. But like actually having a crash course and we can teach them a few things as well.
With that.
That'll be cool. I want to see because I want to get that juice flowing again. It's been a while. But now I want to speak about hip hop and with you guys because you guys know how to rap.
You picked the right two people for that.
Exactly. Now, Karl and Cahl, I've heard both of you guys rap. Now, let me talk about Australian hip hop and we'll get into this now. I don't like Aussie hip hop. I've got some reasons. One, the voice does my head in. Now, let me finish. Two, I'm not saying your voices, but I'm saying in general.
No.
I don't like fucking.
I know what you mean.
Now, another thing is we've got Centrelink. All right, so we can be comfortable. Yeah. Now, hip hop in Australia, whatever you're rapping about, there's no like projects in that sense. Like when you hear like hip hop in America, in New York, we've got the projects, we've got all that. So it's that mystery, it comes from there and we're influenced by them. Now, three, all right, is the suburb names. All right, in Australia, what do we got?
Hey, boys.
Listen to you got Queens, Brooklyn, Compton. We got these suburbs sound sick. What do we got? Nana Goon, Pakenham. You know, yeah, straight out of
wait.
straight out of
who's rapping out of Nana Goon?
There's got to be someone, but it doesn't matter. Frankston, whatever it is, there's no. It doesn't sound special
to us. It doesn't.
Yeah,
I think that this is the thing about personal ideologies, right? Is that for a very long, and you know what? Oh, fuck it. I'll go in. Like I was at a very, very bad part of my life. I was 17 years old. I just lost my dad and I was off the rails. And me being a half Filo, half white, technically Eastern European kid, I wasn't white enough to be white. I wasn't Asian enough to be Asian, and I wasn't Wog enough to be Wog. So I was always looking for a sense of belonging. And I found solace, as cheesy as it sounds, in hip hop. And even though I was at an age where I wasn't old enough to understand systemic racism and oppression and everything else, but I got from the words of Pac and Biggie and Nas that they didn't belong anywhere. And I didn't feel like I belonged. So what I did is I associated myself with that culture. And it gave me an identity down to the way that I dress, the way that I talk, the way that I do anything.
Well, all three of us. But like, hip-hop is a big thing to our life.
But this is the thing, right? So you can't put a label on something just because we know it as something, because that person has interpreted it to be whatever it is they think.
My thing was just like a joke, really. I'm talking about Centrelink and fucking.
I mean, the reality is this, right? Hip hop is a struggle, right? But no one's struggle is any different to anybody else's struggle, right? You can't compare.
There is differences,
of course. And the thing is, it's all subjective. What you feel can be totally different to somebody else's. Therefore, you can't compare. But the thing that I
can compare health insurance though.
I can compare the fuck out of some health insurance. No, but for real, like I think the problem is that for a long time, when I was 17 and I was completely off the rails and I thought I had no future and I was fucked and I hated life, I got offered a record deal by a company that I won't mention, but I know that most people will know who it is. And I had talent, I was good, and they offered me a legitimate. I mean, now that I look back at it, it was a 360 deal, which is probably the worst deal I could have signed, and I'm glad I walked away from it. But as a 17-year-old, you're like, yo, I made it, and I did some tracks for them, and they loved every single one of them. But the problem I had was everyone said, yo, you sound too American, and I was like, yo.
I like that though,
and I was like, wait a second.
This is my personal opinion.
And this is the thing, is I'm like, yo, but hip hop isn't Australian. Hip hop is American.
It's American, exactly.
And here's the thing, right? Like, and this is an age-old debate amongst old head hip hop dudes from Australia for the last 20 years. It's like you have your Hilltop Hoods, you have your Blitz and SO, you have your fucking, you know, 360.
And they suck, in my opinion.
And well, that's your personal opinion. And the thing is, some of those dudes have bars. Some of those dudes have bars for real.
Agreed.
And the thing is, the accent is something that, unfortunately, ironically, in order for some people to feel like they can belong in this culture, they must push an accent that isn't even theirs. So the irony behind them falsifying an Australian accent to comply with what is agreed to be what we sound like is just as dumb as me sounding American, because I didn't associate or find any sort of connection to those musics. I listened to Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac, all
That's
those
our influence.
And also, dude, I'm not really Australian, bro. My mom was Filipino, right? My dad was Hungarian German. They both spoke English to each other poorly. Neither one of them spoke the native language properly. So I've got weird, idiosyncratic fucking accent from them. It's not my fault. This is how I talk. So when I'm rapping, I rap like how I talk. I'm not putting on an accent. This is how I fucking speak, my G.
Stop yelling at me, man.
Not bad. But it's the truth. I still go back to that person at 17 years old. So I walked away from that deal because I was like, I'm not changing who I am just so it fits your label better.
I think like the whole skip hop versus, like, so I was active rapping back then. So I was active in that time, and that time was like real. It was a funny time, bro, because that's when you had Weapon X. So Weapon X and Karl Cahl. Shout out to Xavier. Shout out to Xavier sick cunt. So that was the time that Weapon X goes and gets fucking
Karl
Cahl, and they do something, right? So GMC, all these dudes, right?
Sneaker pimps.
They do sneaker pimping, right? And they get some mad love and they get some mad hate, right? Because they're like, yo, why are you speaking American, but you're Australian? And when I hear, like, we would call it skip hop because there's a clear divide in hip hop back then. Yeah. And when you hear skip hop back then, like you think Hilltop Hoods, etc., Bliss and SO.
Also, by the way,
I would hate hearing that, bro. Like, it hurt my ears. You know what I mean? Like,
shout outs to Bliss and SO, and shout outs to Bliss, shout out to SO, Esoteric. I know those dudes. Shout out to Hilltop Hoods. They are very, very important parts of Australian hip hop culture, and you can't take that away from them.
Yeah,
they are important. That's the truth.
They are important, but like, I think there was a divide, and then 360 came in. They were doing some some freestyles or something during that time.
Oh yeah, don't flop. Yeah.
And that's when they got that's when skip hop became bigger, and then people would be like, "Oh, why do you rap with an accent?" I'm like,
"What accent,
bro? Have you heard me talk?"
Yeah.
The fuck, like, you don't see me. Hey, g'day, mate. Like, you know, like,
that's the thing.
And then, like, even like when you think about it this way, Delta Goodrum would sing. Check this, right?
Yeah, no,
so Delta Goodrum would sing, and she got an American accent.
Yeah.
Because here's the
why
thing.
nobody give her shit?
Okay, here's the thing, right? You've got Jessica Malboy, right? Who is half Aboriginal, so she's as Aussie as Aussie can get, but she sings R&B songs, right?
She got an American accent,
but she sings R&B songs with an American twang, and we accept that as being Australian.
And it's like, what's her name? The Iggy.
Yeah,
she's like, that's the realest.
First things first, I'm the realest.
I'm the realest. Yeah, that joint fire though. But like that's a whole separate thing and I'll get into that. But it's like, okay, so we're all artists. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a rapper, we're all artists, right? And so if Jessica Malboy is allowed to sing an R&B song and sound exactly like Beyonce, why isn't she copying flack for sounding more like Missy Higgins?
100%.
Missy Higgins has an undeniable Australian accent.
That was the argument in hip hop.
It's like why is it okay for singers?
That was like 2000, maybe, bro. Like that was maybe like 2006.
I think we shouldn't even need to listen to what the people are saying or get it for that stuff. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So how about you do what you do?
Respect the artistry.
You respect it.
And here's the thing, right, is that now it's changed because of the internet, because you don't need a record deal now to get famous, and because we have access to YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, that you can make music, skip the powers that be to oppress you from being able to be heard, and sound however you want to sound.
Yep.
And have no negative feedback.
Well, look at it this way. Like right now, drill's big.
Drill is very big.
And you got like a lot of islanders doing drill.
Yeah.
And they're like full lad rap.
And they're lad rap.
Proper lad rap, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, like now you're putting on the fucking lad rap accent.
I know.
How about, why is nobody talking shit about that?
Why are these Samoans rapping?
Okay. Here's the thing, right? Drill music has been around for a long ass time. It's UK grime, right? It started from garage, it became grime. It's UK music, right? Now Americans popularized it with their own style, but the style that Australians have adopted is more closer to the UK style, right? Now I have no hate against drill. I fuck with drill, right? But the thing is, a lot of people have adopted this style because it's popular, and that's cool. People dig ride trends, whatever. But I think a lot of their success, as much as I hate to admit it, and shout out to my HP boys and shout out to 1-4, but a lot of their boys have because Islanders, Maori, Samoans, Tongans, Pacific Islanders, just like Philos, are very, very proud to support whatever is their own, that I think they caught a wave just off their own nationality. And that pushed them into stardom. Because here's the thing, and again, I'm not hating, but there's a good way that, how can I put this? Not a good way. There's a whether it's drill or whether you're playing Beethoven, there's a way that you can do it, and it's good, and whether you like that style or not, you can respect the artistry. What I don't like about what's currently right now is that people are getting free passes just because they're doing a certain thing and they aren't doing it justice, okay? Because me as a real hip-hop nerd, I can sit there and listen to it and go, you're offbeat, you're not even on time, that punchline was whack, you didn't even set it up properly. But because it has good visuals, because we're wearing face masks and we look gully as fuck and we're rapping about shit that's dope and it's fucking trendy right now, they pop off. Now, that's the same with any trend. But the reality is a lot of dudes are getting clout of shit that they not necessarily have the I don't know. They don't have the credentials for. Like, and again, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but there are literally dudes out there that have caught a wave of a certain type of thing that's popping off right now that don't necessarily deserve the respect they're getting because they don't really have the ability, but they hide behind the trend.
Yeah.
And if you sit there and really break it down, it's just Dr. Seuss shit. And
like it's the whole thing.
There's no skill in it.
The drill rap, what I'm hearing is, let's say these Samoans, you got these, what the Lebanese guys are doing it as well.
Yeah, man.
They're making
Young
noise.
Lips. Young Lips is dope though, but yeah.
But they're putting on these yeah, I'll do it all day. Yeah, I'll do it all day. I've never heard you motherfuckers speak like that in real life.
He goes, yeah, I do all day. It's a fucking walla, bro.
Yeah, no effect. No, but it's just so strange. And that's where the direction's going to, right, with Aussie hip hop. Right. But when I listen to you guys rap, what I've heard you guys are like Cal, you're some Bone Thugs and Harmony shit, 100, man.
100, yeah, Cal is
You've got that
busy.
flow.
But
Cal
we had like some tracks with Bone Thugs and Harmony, so that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, you made tracks with them as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so
Cal is
like we've opened for him. Like so, like when they come down, like
Cal opened for Bone Thugs, yeah.
Yeah, so like when they came down, like I wouldn't say like we know them, Huh?
Was that a tramp? Where was that?
That was at the SB, and then I can't remember the other one. I was like,
fucking Cal,
shout out to
working with the Bone Thugs. And
so we got a track with Busy Bone, like bro, like so. My bad.
Straight into the mic. What's up?
But we go like, I'm from a different era. I'm from like 2000s, and that's when rap was like, we had a identity issue.
Yeah,
right? It was like, are we skip hop? It was a thing, or are we hip hop? And my whole thing was always, I don't care how you sound.
Are you good or not?
I want lyrics.
Yeah,
give me bars, man. I like. You could sound American and you can sound like you're riding the beat and all that shit, and like you might have mad delivery. But if you're talking about potatoes, I don't really give a fuck about potatoes.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
it's content, and that's the thing. It's good and bad. It's like you can pretend, and you can have one hit that goes crazy, but it's like, okay, where's the substance? What do you stand for? Is this really who you are? Is this really? And ironically, hip hop.
Why did you listen to hip hop when you were growing up?
Look, man, like as a kid, like I had older cousins, and that's how I listened to it, like on tape. So I heard like your Dr. Dre Chronic 1991, Tupac as well. But when I listened to it as a kid, it gave me goosebumps. It felt dangerous to me, and I knew I didn't understand a lot of things they were saying, but when they were swearing and stuff, it used to G me up, and I knew that it didn't. I'm not allowed. I shouldn't be listening to this. I shouldn't be, but I was obsessed with it.
So you identify with it?
I identified with it. Then I started learning more about it. I had a massive Tupac poster in my room. My dad ripped that shit off, man. Like, what is this guy with tattoos and stuff like? And I cried, man. And I was listening to Eminem, and I listened to like Stan and stuff like that. And as a kid,
Eminem was a barrier. Eminem broke down walls for a lot of people.
But then I was listening to Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah,
I was getting. So I started identifying the difference between hip hop in California and hip hop in New York. I can hear the subway trains. I can hear the knit and grit in New York. You can hear it in the beat. Cali's got the G funk, the lowriders. You got the palm trees. 100. It's cool. They're two different vibes, man.
Massively different vibes.
Yeah,
I think.
And now today you're hearing different sounds. You've got Atlanta. You've got Drake with Toronto.
Yeah,
the OVO sounds, and everyone's generating different sounds.
Everybody's got their own sound. I think,
but it's all art. It's all art, and the thing is, it doesn't matter. It's art. Yeah. Like stop identifying your personal ideologies with things that don't belong to you, because it's art.
The reason why I fell in love with hip hop when I was growing up was because it spoke to me. You know what I mean? Like it was realistic to me. It made sense to me. I'm the outcast. I'm like the only Asian in my school. You know what I mean? Like, so I identify with hip hop.
Same as me.
You know what I mean? Like, so to see it where it went to for a little bit in like the fucking late 2000s, and even now sometimes it's like, you guys don't, and this is just me, right?
Yeah.
But you're shitting on hip hop. Like, you have no lyricism. You're coming there for a quick, but that's just me, right?
There are definitely cloud chasers, and that's in any group, bro. That's not just hip hop. That's in anything.
Yeah.
That's in streetwear. That's in car culture.
That's what we look when we open our Instagram and when you scroll.
Yeah.
It's just me being an old head, I think. Like me being an old head.
But you bring up good points. The thing is though, like you're right though. We are at the age now where we are old heads and we can remember what it used to be like, right? The same way my dad would be like, yo, what is this rubbish, right?
Yo, give me Immortal Techniques. Give me like, bro, give me Busy.
But what's your top 5?
Top 5? Oh,
yeah, I know. This is hard to say.
You first.
Oh.
Yeah, you asked the question, you got to face the truth. Go.
Woo, top 5.
God damn. All right, that's fucking.
You know what? I can't personally answer that.
Why did you drop that so quick? Damn.
I don't know why. I just felt like saying it.
That's good.
It's a tough one. Look, Tupac for me.
Yo, not until recently, but fuck, man, I had to put M in top 5.
You have to
put Eminem.
No, you have to.
You have to.
You have to.
Look, I segregated between the old hip hop and today's hip hop because I like both as well. I'm not talking about fucking some of these rappers that are just drinking syrup and can't understand what they're saying most of the time. Some of them are cool as well. But in terms of the old school hip hop, Tupac for me number one because he was ahead of his time. Activist. He died at age 25.
He's not a lyricist, but he's an activist, bro. Like he just changed everything.
Okay. But now are we talking about you putting him in there because of what he stood for, or because he?
No, even his flow and everything. I felt
the hardest.
No, that's your opinion. This is my opinion.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to determine what you classify in your top 5 as what they stood for, what they did, or their rap ability.
All round.
Okay.
All round. Not just okay. So if we can categorize it, who's as in just hip hop, just rap. Biggie had better flow than Tupac.
You.
Of course. Now, Dr. Dre for me as well. He wasn't a rapper. People were writing for him.
100%.
But he gives him credits and everything. But I love Dre's like number one to me. Just as a whole brand.
Dre.
Can we do 10? Can we do top 10?
We can do top 443.
Let's do top 10 because the only reason why I say top 10, I need to put Nipsey in there, bro.
Yeah, Nipsey.
That motherfucker.
Rest in peace,
bro. I'm so shattered that dude died, bro. That motherfucker like gives me goosebumps when I look at his hustle and like his story, bro. Nipsey's a fucking G, bro.
Nipsey was a great rapper. He was a great storyteller, and he did great things for the black community. Amazing things, and to have him gunned
Nipsey,
down
bro,
in front of his own store is a fucking tragedy.
Tragedy, bro. Big time.
No one's actually said their top though.
No, I don't think we should. I think this can
go.
I'm just gonna throw a few names in there.
Go.
All right, Pac.
Yeah.
Biggie.
Of course.
You gotta put M in there as well.
You have to.
You gotta put Nas. Illmatic was just
Illmatic is still
banger.
ridiculous.
Jigga Man, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z is important.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Jay-Z's
I love Jay-Z, man.
Jay-Z's important.
But then I love, like I said, a Tribe Called Quest and all that as well.
Yeah.
You know, Q-Tip.
Rest in
But
peace,
even from his production that they were doing, the producing side.
I think
it's I shouldn't even mention this, man.
Yeah,
I really got to think. I really have to think. Now, because there's a new schools. I love your Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick's important.
Jake, you know what? I want Kendrick Lamar to go on Joe Rogan's podcast during this time.
That'd be great.
Joyner, I fucks with Joyner. Joyner
looks
sick
great as well.
Joyner is okay.
Joyner,
I've been vibing, and I don't want to sound like that guy, but I've been vibing with Joyner since before no one knew who he was.
Oh,
J. Cole,
you, bro.
That's the truth.
Dude,
I was fucking with Joyner when he did that song when he went from A to B and A to Z and then Z to A again.
Yeah, I believe you.
Hey, yo, J. Cole, fuck.
Yeah.
J. Cole. Okay, this is the thing about J. Cole.
Joyner, J.
People
Cole.
either love J. Cole or they hate him, and I can't understand why.
Middle Child was dope. You can't Middle Child.
Because the thing about J. Cole is that, and coming from a rap nerd, there are people like Pac who are brilliant at telling stories, but their flow is basic, but you respect it because the story behind it and the meaning and the emotion behind it. But the flow isn't crazy, right? J. Cole can do a multi-syllabic flow where there's crazy, intricate rhyme patterns and schemes and double entendres and punchlines, but he's saying a fluent story, and there are very few rappers that can do that well.
Yeah.
But for some weird fucking reason, cunts don't fuck with him as much as they should, and I don't know
but he's
why.
got a cult following. People will follow him wherever he goes.
But
that's the thing.
I'm gonna give you my 5. I just realized it.
Go.
Give you my 5.
Go.
No particular order. M. Method Man.
Underrated. Method Man.
Massively underrated.
Oh, the whole Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
Dude, Wu-Tang?
The Callow. Right? Crooked Eye.
Yes, Crooked.
No one gives Crooked Eye enough love.
Yeah, he's another guy that I slept on. Crooked Eye is crazy.
I'm gonna put him as 1. Bone. Yeah, I had to put him as 1. Otherwise, that's my top 5, right?
I mean, that's you rap, so you have to.
Bro, because no one does melodic fucking
Dudes were doing legitimate fucking Gregorian chant level harmony.
Bro, rap, incredible.
No one's doing that.
And then my last one will probably be Twister.
Twister. Hey,
Really?
Twister was a G, man.
Okay, but you know what?
But this suits your style of
Yeah, I was
hip-hop
gonna
as
say
well.
because Karl is a double time rapper. So for guys that don't understand, there's rap and then there's different subcultures of rap.
Oh shit! Fuck, my bad, guys. Fabulous. Loso?
Fabulous.
Yeah, Fabulous.
Loso?
F-A-B-L.
Hey,
bro.
He was smooth, man. He was like Mace as well, man.
Mad underrated. Fabulous with his lyrics.
This is the thing. Fab popped off.
Underrated.
Fab popped off from doing like that Ashanti shit. What was that song he did with Ashanti? I think.
Hey, fuck the song with Ashanti. He done a song with
But he did a lot of R&B. Like club hits, right? But as a lyricist, Fab's Fabulous's rhyme scheme, patterns, and flow are so slept on even today.
Dude, it felt like he wasn't even putting any effort. It was just...
No, he was effortless.
That's the
it
thing.
felt effortless.
He was so effortless. Sometimes people didn't like it.
Even Mace as well. Mace just was like, but it was effortless, but it's just so cool.
Fabulous. Can't Let You Go with Little Mo.
Yeah.
That song.
Fuck, what a track, bro.
Bro, he had a DJ drama track, and it was so good that I have to fucking find it while you guys
Street
talk.
Dreams.
Street Dreams.
Underrated album. Fabulous, bro.
Was that the one where he
goes, kick game like I know a little bit of soccer. Bro, what a fucking line, bro.
That was...
Goddamn, kick game like I know a little bit of soccer.
This,
what a fucking boss, bro.
I actually wrote this in my fucking... in my thing because I know how to find
What do you guys think of like Travis Scott and like let's say
Travis Scott's dope. Travis Scott is dope because Travis Scott has a great mind, a great ear for tonality, and he can turn. I mean, look, Travis Scott is a cooler version of Young Thug. Let's be honest. Young Thug started that weird singing off-key trippy rap shit, but Travis Scott refined it a little bit.
Bipping on mics.
Who cares, bro? That's a Filipino thing to do anyway.
Bad
He loves you.
Looking for chicharron and shit,
Bro.
I'm gonna top up my drink as well.
Fucking dude, I fuck with I fuck with Travis Scott. Yeah, my top 5 is mad hard to. I don't know if I can do a top 5.
I fucked up with it. I think there's something. I think we need to do a proper full hip hop episode as well.
The thing is, man, like,
and I want you guys freestyling and shit as well. And I'll be like, "It's Team Westwood TV."
dropping bombs. I fight like because everyone has the same top 5. Everyone says Eminem. Everyone says Jay. Everyone says Nah.
Bro. There's a lot of like black people that don't do Eminem and that shit. But I don't recognize him, man.
Then they're fucking.
Nah, you have to admit, like, M's a fucking beast. I don't like what he's doing today.
Yeah,
it annoys me. I liked him when he was on drugs. Just being honest. You know what? He was better that. Like when he got sober.
Yeah, but you know every artist does that.
Yeah.
Every artist.
What was his recent track though? Godzilla, incredible.
Okay, that was
great.
good.
But I feel like he rhymes for the sake of rhyming as well.
But that's his thing.
He can.
Yeah. Because nobody else can do complete, intricate, like double time sentences that are completely multisyllabic, completely like almost robotically, perfectly in line. Because I'm sounding like a mad rap nerd, but like there's different types of rap. You have dudes that have like Dr. Seuss, like the fat cat sat on the mat, right? That's like you're rhyming one syllable, right? And then you have multisyllabic, which is what I do and what Karl does, where we try to rhyme as many words in the sentences as possible fluently, so that the entire rhyme is one rhyme. So for example, like rather than going the fat cat sat on the mat, it's like a true MC and a lingo nice, UFC and I'm Kimbo Slice. Though every single word.
Oh shit, he just gave you a freebie.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
I just gave you a throwaway. But every single word in that has a tonality, and every single word is rhyming. And then in between that, you have patterns where you can do rhymes in between that don't match the original, but then finish off with the last.
And that's Eminem.
And Eminem can do that better than anybody on the planet. I don't give a fuck.
Sure.
I watched a documentary, right? And it was like, I don't even know where the fuck, it must have been like some mad YouTube fucking, like when you go down those fucking tunnels.
Yeah. It's the rabbit holes.
So, rabbit hole, yeah. So, Eminem's got this thing and he goes, somebody said, you can't rhyme orange.
60 Minutes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The word orange. The thing about rap is that you can bend articulation and you can bend words.
Enunciate it. That's
But it's true. It's the enunciation because orange is not a word you can rhyme with.
Yeah.
But if you go my orange 4-inch door hinge, you can twist words, and no one does that better than him. And that's the fact.
No.
You have to have him in your top 5. I just found that line. Right. This is fabulous. Right. Listen to this. Dude. It's Cash Rules. And as you know, Cash Rules Wu-Tang, right?
Yeah.
It's Cash Rules. I go Wu-Tang for the summer.
Just a bit.
It's Cash Rules. I go Wu-Tang for the summer. With that said, I might cop 2 things for the summer. They gon' be blacker than Lou Bang for the summer. And then I'm nicknaming them Hussein and Osama. That's a Saudi and an Afghan new names for the summer. The Audi and the Astan new flame. Dude, like Fabo was crazy and slept on.
Man.
Fabulous was like mad slept on. He's still mad slept on.
Dude, and that's real lyricism. And the problem is like it gets slept on because he.
But even if you listen to I know it's mad commercial, but if you listen to Can't Let You Go,
Yeah.
and I've never had a side chick because I'm
You're a faithful.
Love you, babe. Nah. But if you listen to Can't Let You Go,
Yeah.
what an incredible lyric.
Yeah.
All the way through. Like lyric, I say like it's one.
Yeah.
What like that's lyricism. Like, bro, like the whole freaking bro.
Yeah. That was crazy.
I copy one too, bro. Like what a
Yeah, like Fab was crazy, and that's the thing, man. Like a lot of dudes get slept on because unfortunately they go the commercial route first, and then the problem is they pigeonhole.
I think Fab went commercial like he had to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing,
it killed him.
and it killed him. But you know what's funny? It's like you got dudes like Button, right?
Bro, even that track Breathe was
God,
sick.
one,
Yeah.
two, that was a crazy track.
Who
But
done that?
that was Fab.
No, who done the production? Production was by something Flames.
Huh?
Flames. Shit.
No, it was it's not Premiere. It was
Primo. Mad producer.
DJ?
Was
Was it Primo?
Premiere? Was it
No.
Just Blaze?
Just Blaze.
Just Blaze.
Yeah.
What a spastic. I'm like Flames. It's just Blaze.
Okay.
Blaze is a great producer.
The thing
Great
is, right,
producer.
there's certain people that accidentally pigeonhole themselves into a lane where they create a core following that might not be what they want, and then when they go back to what they really like to do, they lose their following. That's what happened to Fab. Is that Fab started off underground, became commercially successful, and then when he started doing things that were not,
He was making cheesy songs, let's say. Right?
yes, right, but still with good lyricism.
Yeah.
But really, they were just club bangers. And then when he went back to doing what he liked, everyone fell off. The biggest example of this is Joe Budden. Joe Budden's because Joe Budden is a gritty dude. He's part of Slaughterhouse. He's a gritty, multisyllabic, real rough rapper. But what was his first song? Pump, 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 pump.
That was off the fucking You Got Served soundtrack.
No, it wasn't. It was Fast and Furious 2.
I got good memories of that, guys.
Okay, but that's the thing. He was a commercial success, and then decided to go back to underground because that wasn't who he was. And that's the thing. It's like,
But a lot of artists have to evolve as well. The artists that have that plus 10 years in the game are the ones that's evolving.
Drake.
With time. Drake's
Kendrick impressive.
Lamar,
I'm actually really
Kanye
impressive.
West.
Drake is impressive, but he has a team working for him that are like looking for the next big thing, and then he happens to catch them on their way up.
Good on him.
Yeah, Drake,
True.
Jay-Z. So Drake, Jigga.
Kanye.
These
evolved.
guys are like,
Kanye, yeah.
they drop anything, bro, and like it's fucking gold,
But
bro.
Drake and Jay and Kanye are like the supreme of streetwear.
And like
they're at the point now where they will release anything and people will love it.
I still mess with Drake. Like I don't care what anyone says. Like
No, I
people
fuck
can
with
tease
Drake,
me.
I fuck with Drake too. Dude,
People can tease me all I want, but I love the views. Views was dope.
Dark Demo Tapes is fire for real.
is.
Like that, his latest release is fire.
They are great.
But
Let's put hip hop down for a bit.
go.
Now, you guys coming from... Cal, were you born in Australia?
I was born in Sydney. Yeah.
You were born in Sydney. Now, with the backgrounds, are like, we'll get into what's currently happening in the world right now as well. It's pretty fucked up. Now, what kind of racism have you guys experienced? Now, because Cal, you've been... What year were you born in?
83. So if you want to start with me, then that's easy. I can jump on real quick. So I'm born in Sydney, and I'm like the only Asian everywhere I go, bro.
Yeah.
I remember I used to come up with this excuse. I didn't realize like how racist I was to myself. I would say to people I would be at the beach, and that's why I'm darker than everyone else.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'd be like, I'm darker because I was at the beach.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would talk about that, but the racism that I experienced was more
Yeah.
my sister. So when we were growing up, like my sister's older, she's like 3 years older than me, yeah?
Yeah.
And she's not like the personality I am.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I feel like I'm a little bit more opinionated, a little
Are
bit
you just?
harder. Yeah, a little bit. And with my sister, she would get bullied because she was Asian, but she would not say nothing. And I grew up on Karate Kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you're the best around, right? So I learned that, and I'm like, so all the racism I experienced, I turned it to a positive for me.
Yep.
Because I became it's going to sound really, really corny and shit, but I became the bully of bullies in my school, in my era, in my time. Because I was sick of seeing my sister get bullied. So, and it was always through racism that I would now go, fuck it, you know what?
Yep.
I'm going to embrace the fact that I'm the only Asian here.
Word.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you how to get stabbed.
It's true though.
That's what I would do.
It's
Yeah.
true though.
So that was me.
It's true though. You know what's funny about Filipinos, man, is that, and this is why we are so fiercely fucking proud of ourselves, is that if you actually look at Filipino culture, it is so fucking backwards that we don't really, even today, we really don't fit in anything, to the point where, like, yeah, we're considered Asian, but in America, according to the 2018 census, Philippines is considered to be Pacific Islander. Because geographically speaking, we're actually closer to the
Yo, Bang Brother, I did a team just to piss him off. Okay, bro, I'm your dad. I'm like, you came from me. He hated it, bro.
The reality is, right, the Philippines has the longest history, and the reason why it's so confusing, because if you were to like just stereotype a Philo, right? And I know that we're feeding into it right now because we're both wearing country road, but the reality is, like, a Filipino, right, is either what? They speak with weird American accents that don't make sense, right? Yeah. They love basketball to death, right? They love boxing, right? They all wear Jordans. They wear streetwear, right? They either can dance really well, sing really well, or rap really well, right? And there's a reason for that. And it's funny because it's not just because of what we identify ourselves as. It's because the country itself has the weirdest history. Because the Philippines was actually not a country; it was an archipelago. It was basically an abandoned set of islands with no occupants. Right? Because the Philippines are made up of hundreds of islands.
We got raped by the same people that Mexico got raped by.
But this is the
Spanish
thing.
came.
It goes deeper, because here's the thing about the Philippines, right? Like, it was originally became I guess colonized by Pacific Islanders. They traveled there a long time ago, like before AD.
We are Pacific Islanders, bro.
Hear me out, right? So we were the original I guess inhabitants of the archipelago were Pacific Islanders, right? And then Malaysians came over, and they also colonized bits and pieces. And there's different islands, so they had like different mini little countries within a system of islands, right? And then over time, what happened is the Spanish Armada were traveling the world. They found the Philippines, and they established dominance in Manila, right? And at the same time, the first religions of Philippines was actually not Catholicism, not Islam, but it was actually fucking Buddhism and Hinduism from India and Malaysia. Right? They established the capital of what we now know as the Philippines as Cebu originally. Then the Spanish Armada came in the early 1800s and established their dominance and brought with them Roman Catholicism, and they established their capital in Manila. Then there became a civil war.
I like that name, by the way, Manila.
And then,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you can use that instead of saying the N-word of someone. What's up, Manila?
What's up, Manila? Word, true.
Yeah,
Here's the thing, this is where it gets even crazier, right? Is that then there was a civil war between North and South, kind of like Vietnam, where you had the Spanish versus the Malaysians and the original
We have
inhabitants.
so much of a history of activism and...
But hear me out. This is where it gets crazy, though. Hear me out, right? So then you have basically the Spanish forces, which are made up of the Spanish, also Mexicans and the Mayans and Incans that were brought over from Mexico to support the Spanish Armada. Then you also have the original inhabitants of the Philippines, which was the Pacific Islanders, right? Versus the Malaysians,
which is us.
Right? The Malaysians, who are backed up by who? The Ottoman Empire. You had Turkish people. You had all Islamic races fighting each other, right?
Yep.
Now, the Spanish won, but regardless of whose side you're on, they all settled there. And that's why our country is weirdly mixed up of all these different races. That's why we don't look like any other Asian. We don't act like any other Asian, because there are so many different countries that are built into our country that our native language, Tagalog, is made up of 90% fucking Spanish, right? But then where it gets crazy is that
we've got like 100 plus dialects.
During the fucking civil unrest, America steps in the 1900s, right? America steps in and then goes, look, we're going to create democracy.
That's why by the way, this is why the Philippines became black. We became black because like America came over, and then all of a sudden we identified with America.
But here's the thing, right? So during the civil unrest, the Spanish, the name Philippines comes from King Philip II, which was a Spanish ruler and they named it after him, which is crazy. So the Philippines wasn't even considered one country until the Spanish did that and called it the Philippines. Now, the Americans came over during the middle of a fucking civil unrest and they squashed it and introduced democracy, right? And go, we're going to give you the tools you need to create a democracy. We're going to be here and occupy. And Philippines was actually part of the United States of America for 10 years. We're going to own it for 10 years. We're going to establish democracy, and then we're going to leave you be your own thing. And in 1947, the Philippines was declared an actual country on its own with its own, president and everything else. But that's why you have a country of people that are all over the place, that have a language that doesn't make sense, that identify with Americans, which is why we all speak with an American accent, we're so influenced by so many different cultures that it doesn't, as a country, it makes no sense whatsoever. And so we as Filipinos, even to our own race, feel fucking weirdly outcasted because we don't fit into anything. Like, we're Pacific Islanders, we're Spanish, we're American, we're all these weird things.
You guys are Jews as well. I've heard of that one.
That's true.
Never heard of that. Is that true?
No,
No. It's actually a thing. My mom thinks we're Jewish.
Yo.
Hey. So check this. If you look up my name, right?
Yeah.
Online, it doesn't exist anywhere. You know why?
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Because check this. So my Lola made my name up. So when I say Lola, it's like my grandma. She made my name up. It's actually Jewish.
Oh.
My name is Jewish.
I think my last name is Jewish as well.
Check this. If you look up my name, I'm the only one in the world. So if I was to keep it fraud, I am screwed because you'll catch me
maybe
straight away.
Do that then.
Yeah.
Or publicize that on.
And I will never commit fraud. I wouldn't do that.
But so this is the thing about Filipinos, man. Like we don't only receive racism from other races. We receive racism from our own race.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, if you're dark, the more we hate you.
Yeah, because you're a working class.
Yeah, but
it's working class.
More fair skin.
Bro, for real though.
It's working class.
You're working class. If you're dark,
it means you're out in the fields. You're out in the rice paddies.
The lighter you are, the better you are. Because and you know what? My mom, she got psoriasis. Psoriasis.
No, it's fine.
That sounds fucked up.
Psoriasis. Yeah, you got psoriasis.
Hey, that's my mom's.
Sorry, ISIS.
Careful, that's my mom's. Hey, she gets it because she jumps into a bathtub with lemons to try and become whiter.
Oh,
my mom,
younger. That's what she did. She tried to do that to become whiter, because my Lolo, my
grandma,
my granddad.
Oh, Lola. Sorry.
So my Lolo, my granddad, he's got some Chinese in him, and he's lighter. And bro, like if you look in the Philippines, all the celebrities are light as shit.
Light skin,
Light skin.
Light as shit.
It's like America, light.
But it's the truth because of personal ideology.
I didn't say the N-word.
Personal class. The reality is like there is classism within our own country.
Ooh.
Because if you are dark, that means you are a working class person. That means you are working in the fields. So you're getting exposed to sun. So like my mom to this day, and shout out to my mom, I love you, but I've seen skincare products that are skin lightening products. She lives in Australia for the last 30 years. Not more than that, fucking nearly 40 years. She's still lightening her skin.
Bro, even my mom would say, hey, don't play basketball too much in the sun.
Because you get dark.
Because you get dark.
Oh, wow.
And this is the thing.
They would tell us not to get dark.
So our country, even though we are technically Pacific Island, Asian, whatever you want to call it, our identity is so confused within our own country that we are not just subject to racism from whites and blacks and whatever. We are subject to racism in our own culture.
Bro, I've got like a brother-in-law, and he's got like 5 brothers, right? And in that brother group, there's one of them, and the mum would call him negro.
Wow.
And she go, blackie.
Yeah.
And he's the dark sheep of the group. She actually doesn't like him because he's dark.
Oh my God.
And he's a philo.
That's family.
And that's her own child, bro. And she'd be like, negro, no wonder why you always fuck up. No wonder why you always do the wrong thing. Negro.
Philippines has a struggle that I don't think people really understand, for real.
Bro, we hate ourselves, bro. The Philippines, I mean, personally, like my experience growing up in like the 90s and shit, if you do well, we'll pull you down. Don't worry about that.
Crabs in a bucket.
Crabs in a bucket.
Hey, bro, don't worry about that. Like, if you're doing good, watch me pull you down. I'll find something.
That's not like you guys resonate with that as well. That when you say crabs in the bucket, that's the same in our culture as well. There's so many cultures that do have those things where you're trying to get up. One person pulls you down. That person gets up, pull down. It's just a never-ending.
It's the shittest, bro.
Motion.
Yeah, it's
Because we hate ourselves.
we do because we don't know what to align ourselves with.
What about you?
In terms of what racism and stuff.
tell me about it.
Come on,
I've
bro.
copped it. I grew up in Adelaide, man. I went to
fuck.
I thought you were a Melbourne boy.
You had no chance, bro.
I had Aboriginals fucking bullying me.
Yeah, you had no chance.
I was getting picked on by Aboriginals as well.
You had no chance, G.
Man, I didn't know who to fit in with. I was at a school with white people. There was Aboriginals. There's one Italian kid. Me and the Italian kid got along because we're like the outcasts.
You would have had the
And he
hardest
was-
time because like Devon Shala, like
Yeah,
you identify with.
I had to fight for myself. So that's
did.
what I had to speak with my knuckles, man. I was in
Same.
grade 3. I would beat up a grade 5 kid
Same.
that would say shit to me. So that's how I kind of got my respect in that sense. But I got along with people and stuff as well. But I knew I was an
You're like
outcast.
6'5", bro.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You're not exactly a small person.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
You're 6'5", but I'm like 3 foot running around with machetes, like getting respect. You know what I mean? Like you're lucky you're 6'5", but like that makes sense. But
It's
bro,
like
I didn't know you grew up in Adelaide. Damn.
Yeah, I grew up in Adelaide. Then I lived in Sydney for 6 months.
Which part of Sydney though?
I was in Fairfield,
west?
man.
Okay.
Fairfield, and then I moved to Melbourne, southeast suburbs, Dandenong.
I'm from Penrith.
You're in Penrith.
Yeah, Penrith Panther.
Penrith.
Yeah. nigga.
Shit.
Wow.
Oh wait. Yeah, G. I'm from Penrith. And I got cousins there, bro. Like, if you look at, bro, so my dad's got like, I come from a family that's massive, bro. We got like 400 here in just Australia.
Wow.
We're like, we're
good,
big.
man.
That's a lot.
So my dad's got like 5 brothers, 5 sisters, or some shit like that, some crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
And then my mom's got like nothing, right? If you look at my dad, go to Sydney, and we're everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody knows my cousin, like my younger cousin,
Yeah.
Aaron DiCastro. He's like, he started a gym and stuff like that, but he's like the Filipino Kobe.
Wow.
If you look at him, you're like, oh my God, he's Kobe. And then if you look at him, all the females back in the day would be like, oh my God, he's so cute. He would get all the chicks, bro. He would get all the chicks. I'm like, damn.
You know what's funny, bro? I got no one here, bro. Like literally, my only blood.
I got no one here.
I got no one here.
My only blood relation is my mom, and that is not a good relationship. And that's
Well, I got immediate family. I got my sisters and
don't
my
have that.
parents, but
legitimately, I don't have that. Like legitimately, my only immediate family blood relation in this entire country is my mom. That's it, and that's all I got. So I grew up like, and after my dad passed, and I had only my mom, and me and my mom,
That's hard.
even today, are still fighting about dumb shit, but we don't get along. But I respect that she's my mother, so I'll always
what
be
can
there
you do,
for her.
man? Our parents grew up in like their older generation.
That's the thing. So you got to do what you can, and you got to forgive.
You
the
just like
ignorance.
now. I used to really take effect. I used to get really annoyed at things, but I just like
You have to
really
think-
last year settled in. Like I just accept it. You know
have-
what? That's who you
exactly.
are. You're born in 1946.
Exactly.
You don't want to change. Cool.
And you shouldn't
I'm
have
just
to.
gonna like. I'm not even gonna listen. I hear you. Cool.
You
I
accept
can't.
it.
And why should I argue with you and boil your blood and
Exactly.
and boil my
you
blood?
accept it, and
Accept it.
that's what I've learned over the years too. But the reality is, she's all I have left. So my family are the people I've created. My family is you. My family is him. My family are the people that I've chosen to be to rely on.
Family's
So
what you make
yours
it.
is hard because you got to create it. I grew up in Sydney, and like I've got all this family. I've got like too much family, right? So I don't have friends. I've got cousins.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
And then we moved down to Melbourne, right? Because my mum is sick of my dad's bullshit. Like he's always drinking.
Yeah.
So she goes down to Melbourne, chooses me of the family. Dad comes down to Melbourne, chooses mum, obviously.
Yeah.
Come down to Melbourne, and now I don't have any friends.
Yeah. It would be tough for you, man.
It was tough for me.
So you're like an identity belonging kind of thing.
Massive. But then when I grow up, I'm like, I'm always still holding on to like how I grew up. I'm like, so with my kids, I'm always putting them around their cousins. I'm like, hey, fuck friends.
Yeah. Family over
You got
everything.
family, and
family
we're gonna
over
be strong.
everything.
Blah blah blah.
Family over
Hey,
everything.
don't let no one talk shit about the family. Blah 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 blah. Bro, I've got. So for people that don't know, I've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law's also got 4 kids, and then on the other side we've got 4 kids.
God
Bro,
damn, man. You
They've
guys are
got
baby
like
factory.
they're like fucking all tight, bro,
That's good.
That's amazing.
and they all back each other, bro. So it's
amazing.
like if somebody talks shit about one person, we're all there, bro. I love that. It's the fucking
That's
best,
the thing.
bro.
I don't have
That's
that.
awesome.
And imagine this, right? My name is Karl, spelled with a K, right?
Yeah.
My surname is Deggendorfer, which is basically as close to fucking Hitler as you can get, right? The closest thing you can get to German more that is if you had Wolfgang in there somewhere, right? Legit, bro. Like, I have the most German name, but you look at me, I'm 6'1", I have European features, but I'm dark skinned, and I look Asian, but I'm not Asian. And I am the most racially confused person in the fucking world.
We're ethnically ambiguous, man.
Yeah. But
that's a lot
dude,
of.
I am so racially androgynous that I could tell you I was from fucking Mars and you couldn't refute it. And like and me as a kid,
Both of you are like
up,
6 foot. I'd love to be 6 foot.
Yeah.
Bro, I would love to give you some of my height if I could. I've chop it off. 6'5" too tall, man.
Yeah, 6'5".
I've got back problems and shit. I can't climb into cubby houses, man.
Cubby houses, bro.
It's a fucking shit's real, bro.
Bro, I'm just saying though, like
That's fucked up.
I grew up in a situation where I didn't look like I sounded. I didn't sound like I looked. I had a name. It didn't make sense. I didn't have anything that made any sense at all with no family to support me. So, hell yeah, I was subjected to racism.
Yeah. Now with you know we obviously know what's going on in our social media. Everything's flooded with the whole Black Lives Matter, and it's fucking crazy right now. But did you see what the Chinese people have been doing?
No.
They posted yellow squares.
Word.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and they're like yellow lives matter.
God damn, I didn't see that.
I made that up.
I was gonna say, what the fuck, bro?
Yo.
Oh, sorry.
We should do that though.
Hey, that was a mad tension easer.
Yo, that's dope. I'm about to post the yellow square right now. That's dope. Yo, shit is fucked up right now for real though.
It is fucked up though.
It is fucked up. And you know what?
Like, I say I hate talking about it as well. It's because it's flooded, but we have to talk about it.
Talk about it because it's
But
current.
you know, the thing is, spreading awareness. We have spread awareness. Everyone's been spreading awareness.
100.
This has been going for a long time. This is theirs. Fuck all that all lives matter bullshit. I said this on last week's episode as well. But we just got to donate if we can. There's the good sources. This is how we can help, right? Us spreading awareness, but people are spreading awareness by showing the videos constantly of a cop hitting someone. It's very dark.
This is the thing.
It's a very dark place in social media right now.
It is, and me and Karl got into it yesterday about the same topic because the reality is no life is worth more than anybody else's life, right? The reality is that I'm torn because I owe my entire identity and my entire persona to Black life, but we're living in a country that was stolen and colonized from indigenous people. And over the last how many years, over 400 Aboriginal people have been killed in custody with no charges laid. Yeah. And that's fucked up. And for George Floyd to be killed in a pretty brutal way in front of the whole world has sparked everybody else's personal ideologies, right? Now, there's protests, there's peaceful protests. I was at the Black Lives Matter protest on Saturday, and it was beautiful because everyone came together and they did it peacefully without fucking up a single thing. There was no arrest made, right?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. We made change. I never seen anything like that in my entire life. It was gorgeous, right? But there's no life worth more than someone else's life. So I'm not mad when people say all lives matter. But right now...
How do you feel about that? All lives matter.
I don't like it. Right now, I feel like let's focus on one thing. But the people that are saying all lives matter are people that are privileged. And they're just like, all lives matter. Of course all lives matter.
Right.
Of course. But if this is a problem that's been happening for so long and it's with the black community, people, we've been seeing it, man. From the days of Rosa Parks on the bus to they were back to slavery. They've always had the shit at hand. They've been getting fucked over.
To the point where...
I don't disagree. So the black people have been messed over.
Yeah.
But, okay. So, not to bait anybody, but
no, do it.
I asked you, how do you feel about all lives matter? I know how you feel. We got into it yesterday. I am an all lives matter dude.
Okay, fair enough.
And the only reason why I say that is this. Not a bad thing, not a good thing.
No, it depends on the
intent.
The intention.
The intent, of course. So my whole thing is this. I think that as a society, the reason why everyone's pissed off and what people need to understand is this. The problem is police brutality.
100.
That's the
100.
Black, yellow.
All right, there was a fuck up with the laptop. The disc was full, so it cut off to a certain point. Now we have to go back to where we were what we were talking about. Now, Cal, you were talking about
Police brutality, man. I think like the biggest issue is not Black Lives Matter or any racial thing, right? And I get, I'm not discrediting this, and like I will get a lot of hate for this, but the problem is police brutality.
that is the core.
People that are in power need to be policed.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue, because it's not even like the police, bro. Think about like global financial crisis when Goldman and Sachs and the fucking financial industry fucked all of us in the ass. People in power didn't get policed.
That's right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
For me.
And to an extent, I agree with you. I think I went to the rally on Saturday for the Black Lives Matter thing, and I think a lot of it comes down to, and whether it's protesting peacefully, whether it's rioting, whether it's looting, the problem is that people attach themselves to a certain ideology, and they have their own reasons for doing it, whether it's their own oppression, whether it's because they've been stuck in the house because of COVID, because of whatever the reason is. People have this pent-up aggression against, ironically, the same force that's supposed to uphold and protect them, which is the police. And that the All Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter thing is fucked up, because right now, like, if you want to go back to it, like,
bro, all lives matter. Like,
there's not
Look,
one.
that's a fact. It does.
There's not one human being that doesn't deserve the same rights and the same privilege that anybody else has. The problem is, though, is that right now, if we're talking about Black Lives Matter, if you really break it down systemically, and I'm not saying that that there aren't parallels to other cultures, our own culture, the Philippines, Uzbekistan, Palestine, like Egypt, there
Uyghurs, everywhere.
all lives matter. Like, how would everybody feel like if people go, all lives don't matter, but then the Aboriginals, and I'm not like trying to get any clout drama, blah blah, but if the Aboriginals go, cool, Black Lives Matter, we're gonna jump on this cause, how would they feel if I go, cool, what about Palestine?
Yeah.
What about the Philippines? What about this? What about that?
There's so much.
They'll be upset, right?
You get upset.
But I'm not tripping, right?
But I think it's the first time ever where the world has witnessed something specifically fucked up, where it was unfiltered. It was not twisted and manipulated by modern media. We all saw it in its rawest form, and everyone went, "Oh shit!"
Now,
and go.
So with that, there's different angles. Now, people that are coming out, and let's say the people that are looting as well, if they've got their own motives, because we just experienced COVID. Well, it's like we're getting fucked by the system. We locked up at home. So when they see something like this and there's uproar, everyone's coming out as well, and they're fucking going at it. It's as if it's all under one umbrella of George Floyd, right? But people are fucking doing other things that's under the umbrella, which it shouldn't be, that are looting, fucking 100%. Up people's businesses, 100%. Small businesses.
100%.
And that's what's making a ruckus, and the media's portraying, they're just showing the bad things that's happening from the protests as well.
The problem is that people have their own identity politics, they have their own ideologies, their own reasons for doing whatever it is they do, and that's just part of society. The reality is that some people are genuinely jumping on the bandwagon just as an excuse to cause disruption. But the thing is, and Trevor Noah said it amazingly in his own little fucking IGTV thing, which was like, there is no wrong or right way to protest, because protesting is literally going against the system that governs you. And so therefore, there isn't really any good or bad way to send a message. It's just creating enough chaos to the point where the powers that be have to step back and go, what we're doing can't happen anymore.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'm saying, like, to you boys right now in this conversation is, cool, all of that said, all of that aside, if we're going to talk about like real be real, then, and I obviously I don't want to like make you lose followers, but
I've got no followers, bro.
My situation is this: if you're going to talk about Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, then let's talk about it. All lives matter, bro, because like, if you're going to say you went to the Black Lives Matter rally and in 12 months' time, no black lives died in police custody, but 7 million Asians died.
Word.
Yep.
Are you going to be happy?
No.
Fuck no, you're not going to be happy. You know why? Because the problem is police brutality.
But here's the thing, though, right?
This is the whole core of it, of the protest and everything. Is police brutality.
I 100% agree.
What about that white dude that like was in Minnesota?
The old man.
Sorry, yeah, no, not. It was in New York, Buffalo. White dude, 75 years old, goes up to the cops, gets pushed, falls over,
blood comes out
cracks
of
his
his head.
skull, bleeds out. Are we gonna be like, but he's a white dude.
No.
So
People
fuck that
think
dude.
like that. Fuck that. No, that's fuck. The whole thing of this is police brutality. Now, what the African Americans have been experiencing is fucked from them. So that's why it's like it keeps building up. It's built up. We've seen it from fucking.
We've seen it from Rodney King.
Rodney King.
Dude, the problem with the Black Lives Matter thing is that, look, if you're going to be a humanitarian, you have to accept the fact that all lives do matter. However, right now,
we need to focus on this.
This is a topic that needs to be addressed, and it's only because, look, again, Philippines been oppressed, Uzbekistan's been oppressed, Egypt's been oppressed, Palestine's been oppressed.
Okay,
but this is the first time ever where we've seen something that the entire world goes, fuck, I don't agree with that.
Okay,
and it was
then make it super clear on this podcast. If it is Black Lives Matter, I'm sorry, I don't want to be like hated, but Aboriginals don't jump on the platform because you know what? My people in the Philippines, we're also being oppressed.
What it does is it dilutes everything. It's making it weaker from the actual point. So everyone needs to focus on this, and we make change because the ultimate outcome from this is, let's say another police officer does fucking assault, and we witness it. That person is getting charged for murder. When that happens, we have seen change. Dude, this has worked.
Yes,
I'll say this, bro. Three freeway exits away from me, a 51-year-old white man was killed. He was mentally unstable. He was, I don't know what, he had no criminal record. It was a clean record. He was driving erratically. He pulled over. Vic Roads did their thing. They pulled up. They see a car in the service lane. They realize the guy in the car is a bit fucking erratic and has a knife. They do due process. They call the police, right? Police rocks up. Now, the police rock up in 5 patrol cars, right? 5 patrol cars, right? There are 15 police officers. 15 police officers. This is a 51-year-old man. He's brandishing a knife. He's got some sort of issue. We don't know what the issue is. Maybe he's got fucking family problems. Whatever the case is. It's not, the issue is it's irrelevant. He's not, when you are outnumbered 15-1 against trained fucking people, you are not the threat. It's the other way around. Now you're telling me that with 15 officers, the human eye can only focus on 5 things at once, max. So you've got a 3-to-1 ratio of cops out to one dude. You're telling me that 2 or 3 cops couldn't distract him while 2 or 3 cops ran around the back and tackled him and immobilized him? No, you couldn't tell me that they couldn't pepper spray him. Yeah. I've been pepper sprayed and I wasn't holding a weapon, right? Yeah. They couldn't tase him, right? They couldn't shoot him in the leg, the hand, the foot to immobilize him.
Glenn, right?
They shot him 5 times in the chest out of self-defense, 15-1.
Bullshit self-defense.
Now here's the thing, that dude was white. Right? Are we rallying against him?
No.
Now, again, I'm not taking power away from Black Lives Matter because I was there on Saturday. And I stand with that because, again, Black American culture has given me my identity.
So
thank you.
But
that's your reason.
Thank you. So my whole thing is like, fuck the police. That's my thing.
The police need to be held at a higher account. Exactly.
Bro, if you're meant to serve and protect me, well, the fuck you killing me for?
Exactly. That's why we're in fear, man. When we see cop lights and stuff, we all go, "Oh, did I do something wrong?" Automatically.
And the worst thing for me, Carl, because we're ethnic.
Yeah.
It's 50 times worse.
50 times worse.
1 billion times worse.
Yeah.
It's like they look at us and like,
I've had my experience with the police.
You must be a gangster or some shit.
Know,
you know what I mean? Like,
we all had that.
I never get nothing good from the police. Never
that. There have been times where I've called.
Fuck these times.
There have been times where I had been the victim and I have called the police, and I have honestly
I'll never call the police. Fuck the cops.
I've honestly had more.
But I've experienced good police as well.
I
have.
And that's the thing. Like, see, now I'm really jaded, and I'm going to be very upfront, and like I'm not going to talk shit in your podcast. Like,
no, speak, bro.
It's just me, and I'm going to be very biased. It's just all my experiences have been shit, bro.
Yeah,
every one of my experiences. Even like, bro, I've got like a lot of homies that are like Ethiopian and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen them get like a lot of my homies, I've seen them get done because they're black.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Racially profiled, man.
But this is the thing.
Profile. It's profile.
But racially profiling isn't just a personal bias. It isn't just personal racism. It's built systemically into our culture. And that's the problem, is that, yes, Asians and Philos and Turkish people in Islam's like, not every Muslim is a terrorist, right?
Yeah.
Not every Asian has COVID, right?
Yeah.
Not every Indian is a fucking...
Smells like curry.
Right? But...
I don't know about
but
joking, but it's good. Delicious.
But the
Just
thing,
wanna lick
but marginalization is what fucks us, and it's fucked up because it's been negatively geared into our culture. And the reason why I went to that black protest is because if you really break it,
Because you're a try-hard wannabe.
yeah, 100%. Because I wear FUBU and I wear do-rags. No, it's because it's because I felt like in order for me to continue living in the culture that I choose to live in streetwear, in rap, in hip hop, in all the things that define me as a person that I feel make me unique, I owe it to them to
For sure, we owe it to them, man. They push nothing but culture to us, right?
And I stand there with them in solidarity. Now, here's the thing, this is where I go right now, Black Lives Matter, is because there are thousands and thousands of years of oppression in different countries, right? But if you look at it from the American standpoint, you have dudes that were taken from their homeland as slaves and then built. Basically, a large part of America's infrastructure was built on slavery.
They still wanted 40 acres and a mule.
Right.
I get it.
Reparations, right? What the fuck is a black dude from fucking New York going to do with a mule? The reality is the reparations is outdated, but but so is the Constitution. That's a whole other conversation. But you have a group of people that were stolen from their country. They were brought to another country where an entire country's infrastructure was built upon illegal slavery. Then slavery gets abolished and it goes to Jim Crow, where they're allowed to live amongst other white people. However, they are still segregated, right? They're still treated as lower class citizens. And then it goes from Jim Crow is abolished to we now have the civil rights movement. And then you have a thing called redlining, where the banks and the real estate agents started drawing red lines around poor, impoverished black neighborhoods. Oakland, right? You've got fucking Compton. You've got South Central.
Inglewood.
You've got Harlem. You've got Brooklyn, where they would not lend money to, like, they would just simply not lend money to these cultures.
If you're gonna go down that path, you got to go. Okay, cool. What about the Chinese people that built the railroads?
Yeah, no. Again, and this is the thing, right? Is that
all lives matter?
We can't. But here's the thing: if we're gonna go with all lives matter, then the conversation gets, which we should, but the conversation gets diluted.
It gets diluted. That's the problem. Right now, it should stick to the Black Lives Matter.
There's a platform that these guys need, and Aboriginals should not jump and fucking hijack it. That's my...
But
it's because they feel the same thing. I get their perspective as well.
Not to say that...
It's fucked.
Dude, Aboriginals have had 430 people in the last 10 years killed in custody with no charges laid. Yeah. Right? That's fucked up no matter how you look at it.
It's bullshit, but you know what? George Floyd died. Don't bring it to someone else.
True.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing.
I think this needs to be solved first. Like, and it's hard to get solved, right? But like I said before, back to the core of the whole George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter. If these sounds, these noises, these protests, and if it leads to the next time that a black person gets fucking fucked up by the police like this, that person's charged for murder, and not just that, to have this kind of ease, man, where you don't feel scared from the police, and when you're going for job opportunities or anything like that, you feel
we
like
should not be afraid of the police. You're right. You're bang on.
The police.
We should have those rights as well. You know, they are. Everyone. We shouldn't feel like we're fucking different, or that we're getting stepped on. That person is better, or that person has a better opportunity than us. But you know what? A lot of the case, it is what it is, man. It's a system that it's so fucking been happening for so long.
It's so negative.
You can't just flip the script after all these protests. It's just flipping straight away.
That's why you don't.
It's step by step, baby, step by step. It's gonna get more different. Bro?
If it takes fucking 20,000 people to march down Swanson Street for 3 or 4 people to realize what they're doing is wrong, that's a success.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna hate on it. And I think I think it was beautiful. I think it was great. The reality is, in the world, you'll never get rid of it.
No, you won't.
Yeah, you won't.
Racism is racism, and it's going to happen, and you just need to teach your
Like, it's
kids.
just by increments. If it can change little bits by bits, then that's good. But
you know, racism boils down to prejudice, right? Prejudice. For example,
Bro.
if I go into a store, and this is literally prejudice, right? If I go into a store, right, and I see 2 pairs of shoes on the shelf that are both priced the same, right? Mm-hmm. One is a Nike Air Force One, right? One's an Adidas Superstar, right? I'm buying the Nike every day, all day, right? That's my prejudice, right?
Yeah.
Now, both shoes are both in the same amount of culture, the same amount of fucking clout in streetwear, right? Both ironically produced in Taiwan now, but the reality is my prejudice is Nike over everything, right? Jumpman all day. But that's prejudice, right? The same kind of ideology of prejudice stems into all forms of our life because we choose to align ourselves with what we believe is closest to our own personal ideologies, right?
we all have to care about ourselves.
Like your old man would have taught you.
Yeah.
Like,
He said never trust a Filipino, man.
never let.
He's right. Don't trust us.
100%.
Don't
But
trust
it would have
us.
been like, never let like anyone talk shit to you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, as a man, it's like, so for me, like with Isaiah, it's like, I don't care about black, white, nothing. Earn your way.
Yes.
You got like fucking like black artists, black fucking musicians, whatever the fuck it is. They're doing well. You know why? It's not an identity like race, religion, blah, blah. It's like, earn your way.
Yeah. I
Be
believe
the
in that.
fucking best you can be. Like,
Yeah.
bro,
Don't point your fingers around.
bro,
Yeah,
Well,
but-
you
okay.
can only go far. What if you're always just pointing your fingers
Okay,
out? This
okay,
is
but-
why I'm doing this.
But to play devil's advocate, those motherfuckers that earn their way, they have no choice because if they don't become a athlete
No.
or a rap star,
No.
the system is geared against them.
don't agree. Michael Jordan earned this way. Will Smith earned this way. Everybody, like, bro, these black dudes that are like prominent and everybody looks up to them.
yeah.
I don't care, like, if they're not like changing the world. Who cares if they're changing the world or not? They earn the way. And you know what? They have a family line now that will like live fucking nice.
That's
Okay,
true.
hard work. Okay, I agree, hard work. But the thing is, the system is geared against them.
Oh, no
Doesn't
doubt
matter,
it
but
is.
they earn their way.
But the thing is, if it's geared so negatively that a person, a white person, for example, who has no real talents and puts in half the work, can get the same result as a dude who is of color, who has a system that's negatively geared against him in order for him to fail, has to work 5 times as hard to have the same voice. That's not even.
But you know what? The beauty
That's
of
why
that is
you
that
earn-
person will be way more prolific than that
Of
person.
course, but it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
I know.
Who gives a fuck about how it should be? They still earn their way. You know what? You know how many people are speaking against Michael Jordan? None.
It's you know what, this system, we can say all this stuff, man. Is it gonna change though?
No.
If it's bit by bit, if we see it, great. But
dude,
we live in a fucked up system, man.
Facts.
No matter what, the whole world was fucking under the thumb of the government.
Facts.
100%.
Religions,
100%.
your place where you practice,
100%.
they eat. The government had more power and said, no, you can't have this open.
100%.
You see that shit?
But what I'm saying though is that oppression isn't everywhere. Oppression is everywhere. Oppression can't be just systemic to one race. But right now, it's a good time to jump on this because it's the thing that's making the most amount of noise.
Well, that's why
Donate.
that's why you don't see me jump on it because, like, I'm like in the Philippines, in the South, where my dad was born in Mindanao,
Yeah, it's bad.
where the Muslims and the Christians are punching on all the time,
bad there,
Yeah.
bro. It still is bad there.
and there's kidnappings all the time.
Still bad there.
You don't see me come up out of nowhere and go, "Well, what about this?"
Yeah. No, I know. I feel you
Yeah.
on. I feel
I'm
you on.
saying,
I feel you on. And that's the thing. That's why I was so fucking like, I was so torn because like, I try to like, I have an Instagram with that I have a pretty big following, and I try.
Let me tell you this much. All I say is this. And I say to Isaiah, I say like, and you guys, sorry, and you guys will
punch the microphone. God,
you guys will respect it. As somebody that has no formal education completed, I'm successful.
yeah, same as me.
And I know what I've done. And I know what I can do. And I know what I can impart on my kids. So all I'm saying is this. With Isaiah, hey, cool. There's all this drama happening.
Yep.
Pave your fucking path. As a man, I'll help you. I'll equip you with all the skills you need. Pave your path. You want to make a difference? That's cool. I'm not going to fucking go against you. You want to make a difference? Find a way to go into that problem and make a difference. But
actually make a difference.
If that's what he wants to do, bro.
Yeah.
If that's what he wants to do. For me, when I was growing up, I could not get over the fact that there was so many shit leaders. So you know what I did?
Became a good leader.
I became a fucking leader.
Yeah.
And made a difference.
Word.
Did I change the world? Fuck no, bro. Because like it's a fucking drop in the ocean. But I'm comfortable and I'm confident with what I've done.
Yeah.
And I want Isaiah to do the same thing. If we as people and parents can make our kids go make a fucking difference.
That's it.
Well, that's it, man. It's leaving a legacy where you hope that the knowledge and the wisdom that you can impart on the younger people, they take and they do something positive with it.
All I know is that 20, 30, 40 years from now, like it's not going to be as racist because like our kids, when they grow up and stuff, it's on us. But like racism is going to be taught down to people. It's still around. You know what? It still will be, but whatever these noises, these protests, it's gonna make a positive change. It has to. And like I said, and if the next time it fucking happens where a black man, an innocent black man, is fucking murdered by the police, that police will have to be fucking accountable for those actions and be charged with murder. When we see that, then we go, all this sound that we made here, it did fucking make a difference. Yeah, do you think that happens and they let that cop go again, that we're all just going to be... No, this is the protests and the fight. It's going to go again. It's going to go tenfold in this crazy shit that's happening now.
Of course. Because the new racism is this. Bro, I go fucking Coles.
Yeah.
They look at me like, oh my God, he's Asian. Doesn't have a mask on.
Yeah.
This dude's walking around with COVID. Just spreading around the shopping center. Like, what are you doing? Why are you out in your house?
It's a weird time, man.
I'm like...
It's a weird time, bro.
Yeah. And I'm walking around looking for Asians and why the hell are you spreading COVID around?
And don't pretend like this wasn't set up on purpose, bro. Like,
yeah, it's another whole conversation. We don't know shit, man. We don't know what's really going on.
I was taught to speak when I know what I'm talking about and to hold my tongue when I don't know enough. And I think the problem with social media now is that motherfuckers just say whatever the fuck they want to say without knowing or understanding enough. And we as human beings have the responsibility to share awareness and teach and impart knowledge and wisdom as much as we can, but also know that when we don't know enough about a topic, maybe shut the fuck up because it's not your turn to talk.
Bro, I'm looking forward to the NBA. And I'm not being like insensitive, but I just don't care enough about other shit. I got like... in Australia, I got people oppressing me.
Yeah.
I don't care what's happening overseas. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. But I got somebody stopping me from like trying to get my second, third, fourth house.
Yeah.
I got somebody stopping my son from being successful. Give a fuck about Trump.
Yeah.
He's not my problem.
That's right. And the thing is, people just make these problems. It's like they really take it on. It's because of what we're seeing, man.
Yeah.
And you can't control it. I mean, all you can control is yourself, your family, your things around you.
But you keep your own back.
Make a difference with like in your immediate circle.
That's what I'm saying. You keep your backyard clean first.
I feel like I've been able to make a difference in my immediate circle. I'm always trying to be conscious about like, fuck, the people that I have interactions with. I try to my hardest make an impact on their lives, right? So
100.
When I do that, then I feel I've done as much as I can.
You've done your part. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and this is the thing.
Bro, I go, Happy New Year's to you in like fucking 1983. And 17 years later, you go, Happy New Year's. It's like, but it's like sometimes people go, Happy New Year's to you because you're in their team or whatever, or you're making the money. Bro, me and you, like, we weren't in the same business. It's just like, hey, bro, we're homies.
Yeah.
I just want to reach out to you and go, hey, what's up, G?
And that's, I think, the biggest thing to take away from this is that unification is so important. Whether it's as simple as reaching out to somebody or letting somebody know that you are with them regardless of what we're facing as a society.
Yeah.
As a society, we owe it to each other and ourselves to be together.
Except if they're Chinese. We don't want to be with you.
Fuck Chinese people.
Because these guys are walking around with COVID and shit. Like, fuck these things. Fuck these
Yo,
dudes.
fuck your... Oh, man.
Wait, unless...
I'm boycotting.
Unless you're cooking some really good... Because, bro, like let's be honest. Chinese has great food.
Nah.
Dumplings and shit.
Dude,
Hey, if you're walking around with dumplings, then me and you're cool.
Nah,
unless...
I'm not eating...
But if you're walking around with bat,
I'm not eating no fucking bat dumplings. I'm not eating no fucking sweat.
But if it's pork dumplings, then these Chinese are cool. But if it's bat dumpling, nah.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you.
Fuck that.
All right, man. Fucking got silly. I think we wrap this up because we're definitely over 2 hours. But man, I really appreciate you guys doing this as well.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
And we'll do it again.
And thank you for finally bringing some diversity to a very Turkish podcast with the most left of field race you could have possibly picked at this moment.
2 Filipinos, man. That's it. Next week, fucking who knows what I'm gonna do?
100, man.
I want a Chinese fucking tranny.
Let's go.
That's it, man.
Let's go.
I want a French poodle on there as well.
Let's go, bro. I'm with it.
But appreciate you, bro. I haven't seen you in a while.
I love you guys, man.
I fuck with this. I fuck with what you're doing. You're killing it. You're doing a really good thing. And I think if you stay on this wave, you ironically, you yourself will make a difference because you're bringing voices that aren't normally heard to people who wouldn't normally listen.
And the kind of differences I want child labor in Australia.
100%, bro.
Yeah, because I want little kids the basement making me fresh Nikes.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Look, I got Mad Jordans, bro, that need fixing, bro.
It drops the price, bro.
100%.
Dude,
Makes it accessible.
Dude, I'm sick of paying $400 for off-whites, yo. I want some...
I know.
Dude, I want some Somalian kid making... No.
No, want Chinese kids and we'll call them off yellows. All right, let's wrap this up, man.
Yo, fuck it.
All right, see you guys next week. Ta-ta.
Peace. What's up?